How's it going, everybody? Daner here with North Central Coins, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the most rare and valuable coins in Canada. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at 20 rare modern Canadian coins that you might actually own or can find by searching through your pocket change, and if identified correctly, can make you some serious money. Every single one of these coins that we discussed today, although incredibly rare, is not impossible to find, and in this video we will explain each of these valuable pieces of modern Canadian currency and delve into why they hold such incredible value in numismatics. Additionally, we will discuss any distinguishing and identifying features, their significance among collectors, and also the potential value if you happen to own or find a legitimate example of any of these rare gems. Before I do get into this, I would really appreciate if you guys would smash that thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and also ring that bell notification so you can stay up to date with my new content as it is being released. And then without any further ado, what do you say we get right into it and take a look at 20 incredibly rare modern Canadian coins that can make you some serious money. Let's get it, guys. The Canadian 2002 Toonies, featuring the unique date inscription of 1952 to 2002, hold a special significance in the realm of Canadian numismatics. These coins were released to commemorate Queen Elizabeth II's Golden Jubilee, and these coins symbolize a milestone in Canadian coinage history. The obverse side of the toonie depicts the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, while the reverse side features the iconic image of the polar bear. The introduction of the bimetallic toonie in 1996 revolutionized the country's currency, providing enhanced durability and security features. The $2 coin, with its distinctive outer ring and inner core, quickly gained popularity among Canadians and collectors alike. The 2002 Toonies are part of a broader series of Canadian coins minted that year, each carrying its own significance and design elements. From the double-dated penny all the way to the uniquely designed commemorative 50-cent pieces, these Canadian 2002 coins reflect the country's rich cultural heritage and diverse landscapes. One interesting fact about the Canadian toonie is its nickname, which derives from a combination of two and Loonie. The term Loonie refers to the $1 coin featuring a common loon design on its reverse side. When the bimetallic $2 coin was introduced, Canadians naturally dubbed it the Toonie, emphasizing its double denomination. This unique naming tradition adds a touch of whimsy to the Canadian coinage system, further enhancing its charm and appeal to collectors worldwide. The dot and H variety for the 2002 toonie is a fascinating heir that adds a layer of intrigue to this already collectible coin. This heir manifests as a small dot, likely a die chip, situated in the bottom half of the letter H in the word Elizabeth, on the obverse side of the coin. Located beneath the center line of the H and nestled between the two side lines that form the letter, the dot and H heir is a subtle yet distinctive characteristic that sets certain specimens apart from the standard circulation coins. Identifying the dot and H variety requires a keen eye for detail. Numismatists and collectors often scrutinize the lettering on the obverse of the coin, paying particular attention to the word Elizabeth. Upon close inspection, the presence of a small dot between the center line of the H should be apparent. While some variations in the strike or surface imperfections may resemble this heir, the distinct placement and size of the dot help distinguish genuine dot and H varieties from other mint anomalies. The origin of the dot and H heir can most likely be attributed to the coin die used in the minting process. Die chips, which are small pieces of metal that break away from the surface of the die, can inadvertently transfer onto the coins during striking. In the case of the dot and H variety, a tiny chip likely formed on the die used to stamp the lettering onto the coin, resulting in the formation of this distinctive dot. Factors such as wear and tear on the die, improper maintenance, or defects in the manufacturing process could contribute to the development of die chips and consequently errors like the dot and H 2002 toonie. Despite its relatively subtle nature, the dot and H heir holds significant appeal among collectors due to its rarity and uniqueness. Coins exhibiting this variety command attention and often fetch much higher prices in the numismatic market. The quest to acquire such elusive specimens drives collectors to carefully examine their coins and search for these distinctive heirs. As a result, this 2002 dot and H variety adds an element of excitement and discovery into the world of Canadian coin roll hunting, especially when it comes to Toonies, and highlights the intriguing intersection of artistry, craftsmanship, and the chance of anomalies occurring during the minting process. Now, before we get into the values for the 2002 Toonies, first let's go over some of the specifications. If any of these are off, it may indicate that it is not a legitimate example. I'm not too sure about the 2002 Toonies, but I know that there are 1996 counterfeit Toonies. There are also 2000 knowledge counterfeits, and 2005 and 2006 are very common years for counterfeit Toonies. Now, the counterfeiters would have had to make a separate obverse die for this 2002 Toonie because it does have the double date of 1952 to 2002, but in the case of the 2000 knowledge Toonie, there are counterfeit examples of that coin, so it didn't stop them having to make a different reverse design. So very well, there could be some counterfeit examples of these 2002 Toonies floating around. And if you happen to find one of those, it doesn't matter if it has die chips or not, it is pretty much worthless. So the overall mintage figure for the 2002 Toonie is 27,008,000. The coin is composed of an outer ring of 100% nickel and an inner core of 92% copper, 6% aluminum, and 2% nickel. It has a weight of 7.3 grams, a diameter of 28 millimeters, and a thickness of 1.8 millimeters. The coin was designed and engraved by Dora DePatry Hunt and Augo Arand for the obverse and Brent Townsend and Augo Arand for the reverse. The edge of the coin is serrated and it has a die axis in metal alignment, as is the standard for most Canadian, British, and Australian coins. Now, as I've mentioned in several of my other videos, unfortunately there aren't a whole lot of Canadian loonies and toonies that are worth too much above their face value. And usually if you find any of the Canadian $1 or $2 coins and they're pretty beat up and not in the greatest shape, you are not going to be able to get a whole lot more money for them than they are actually worth. Now, in the case of the 2002 commemorative Toonie, the most amount of money that you could get for that coin is $72 for an MS66. Now, that is for the regular 2002 double dated Toonie without any heirs or varieties. Now, if you can identify the dot, which means you have to flip over to the obverse and look for a small dot or die chip located in the center bottom of the H in Elizabeth, then it can add a pretty large premium to the coin and makes it about twice to 3 times as valuable as the regular issue. So it can be worth around $20 to $25 for an MS64 example, around $120 for an MS66, and if you were able to find one and it got the MS67 or higher, you could easily be talking a $500 to $1,000 Toonie. This is a fairly modern piece, so if you are coin roll hunting Toonies or checking your pocket change, there is a good chance that you might be able to find one of these 2002 Toonies, and it is still in pretty decent shape. But if you want to be able to get the most amount of money for a 2002 dot and H Toonie, you want it to be in an exceptional grade, and the best chance of finding one of the Toonies that scores in the high MS range is going to be out of an uncirculated roll. Now, being released in the year 2002, these coins are now 22 years old as I am making this video, but in the world of coin collecting, that is a mere blink of an eye, and you can actually find these rolls on Canadian coin sites like Coins Unlimited and Colonial Acres for a pretty decent price. And if you happen to buy one of the rolls, bust it open, and can identify one of these die chips, which is definitely possible, a lot of the time when you are looking for heirs or varieties like the 1964 extra waterline nickel, usually if you are busting open an uncirculated roll, either all of the coins will have the heir or variety or none of them will. But when it comes to a more minor heir or variety like the dot and H, which is a die chip, there is a chance that a few of these Toonies could have made their way into the roll, and if you can identify the die chip for the dot and H variety, and even a few of the Toonies have them and they are in really good shape, you can turn a massive profit. The Canadian 50-cent coin, also known as pièce de 50 cents in French, is a coin worth 50 cents in Canada. The first domestically produced Canadian half-dollar was struck by Governor General Earl Grey on January 2, 1908 during the opening ceremonies for the Ottawa branch of the Royal Mint. This silver 50-cent coin had the effigy of King Edward VII. Although the coin is regularly minted, it is not produced in large quantities, with an average annual production of only 150,000 half-dollars since the year 2004. Since then, it has only been available to the public directly from the mint. It is rare to come across this coin in everyday transactions because many Canadians mistakenly believe that it is rare and worth more than 50 cents. When most people receive a 50-cent coin, they often save it instead of spending it. Some even question whether it is actually legal tender due to its non-circulating status. The Canadian 50 cent is similar to the United States half dollar and is generally not accepted by vending machines. The Royal Canadian Mint attempted to promote the use of the coin in 2002 by releasing a special edition to mark the 50th anniversary of Queen Elizabeth II's ascension to the throne. However, this promotion was unsuccessful and the mint stopped distributing 50-cent coins to banks. Currently, the mint only sells them in rolls or in coin sets directly from their numismatic department at twice their face value or $25 per roll of 25 coins. So now that we have some brief information on Canadian half dollars, what do you say we discuss this holy grail 50-cent coin, which is the 2000p half dollar? The 2000p 50-cent coin is a rare Canadian coin that has gained popularity amongst collectors due to its scarcity. The 2000p 50-cent coin is composed of multiply plated steel, and it was released to celebrate the launch of the new plating facility of the Winnipeg Mint in Manitoba, Canada. The rarity of this 50-cent coin is what makes it so highly sought after. Only 276 2000p 50-cent coins were ever produced. This limited run has made this coin an extremely rare item, and collectors are willing to pay top dollar to add it to their collections so they can own such a revealed piece of Canadian numismatic history. There are multiple ways to approach the acquisition of this coin. You could look for one still in the clock, which would present several challenges, the biggest being authenticity, or you could look for one that has been pulled from the clock and is either graded or loose from its original clock holder. This coin was produced as a special presentation item and was not intended for general circulation. Instead, it was only given to mint employees, making it difficult to find examples floating around in the wild. Additionally, many of the coins that were handed out were quickly snatched up and hoarded, leaving few examples available for collectors today. The 2000p's design features the image of the Canadian coat of arms on the reverse side, with the diadem portrait depicting Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse of the coin. It has a reeded edge, is made of multiply plated steel, and it also contains a P mint mark located below the Queen's bust on the obverse, which would indicate it is indeed the Holy Grail 2000p. The value of a Canadian coin can be affected by several factors, including its rarity, condition, and historical significance. Coins that are in better condition and have a unique history tend to be more valuable than those that are not. Also, depending on if the coin remained in the original clock or was broken out to be graded may affect the value, as some may want them in the original state. I personally would much rather have this coin inside of the clock for display purposes. For anyone that is actually interested in purchasing this coin or adding it to their collection, the thing that I would stress the most is to ensure the coin's authenticity and to make sure that it has not been tampered or altered with in any way, especially if you are buying one still in the clock examples. I've seen a few different pictures that depict different looking clocks. You can find some in watches, so you want to make sure that this is a legit example, and hopefully if you're lucky it will even come in the original presentation box that it was given out with. When purchasing any coin, it is important to look for signs of authenticity, such as the correct weight and diameter, as well as any distinguishing marks on the coin. It is also recommended to purchase a coin that is independently certified by a reputable coin grading service such as PCGS or NGC. Now, a few specifications on Canadian half dollars. From the year 1870 to 1919, they had a weight of 11.62 grams, they had a diameter of 29.72 millimeters, and their composition was 92.5% silver, 7.5% copper or sterling silver. From the year 1920 to 1967, they had a weight of 11.66 grams, a diameter of 29.72 millimeters. They were composed of 80% silver and 20% copper. From 1968 to 1999, they had a weight of 8.10 grams and a diameter of 27.13 millimeters and were composed of 99.9% nickel. From the year 2000 to the present, half dollars had a weight of 6.90 grams. They had a diameter of 27.13 millimeters and also a thickness of 1.95 millimeters, and the composition is 93.15% steel, 4.75% copper, and 2.1% nickel plating, also referred to as multiply plated steel. And this is the composition that the 2000p Canadian 50-cent coin will come in. It will come also with a diameter of 1.95 millimeters instead of the 1.93 that the coins came in from 1968 to 1999. So be mindful of those specifications, but if it does have that P mint mark, then chances are you probably have this extremely rare and valuable Holy Grail half dollar. But what do you say we discuss some of the potential values for the 2000p Canadian clock half dollar? Now, if you were to send this coin in to be graded, it should get a proof designation because it was released as a special presentation item. It is a rare and valuable coin, and it is also considered a proof strike. Now, just to give you guys an idea of value, the regular 2000 Canadian proof half dollar is worth around $1.95 for a proof 63 and around $25 for a proof 66. Now, on the slightly rarer end of the 2000 Canadian half dollars, we have the 2000 Winnipeg mint. Now, this won't have a P mint mark, but it will have a small W mint mark indicating it was struck at the Winnipeg mint, and this will be located to the bottom left of the Queen's bust. In terms of value, it's not much more valuable than the previously mentioned half dollar. It's worth around $3.90 for a proof 64, but it can be worth all the way up to $25.40 for a proof 66 example. And then last but not least, we have the Canadian 2000p half dollar. Now, this is one of, if not the most valuable of the modern Canadian half dollars. It is worth insane money, and if you ever come across a clock that looks like it might have a 2000 half dollar in it and it isn't selling for ridiculous money, don't even think about it, buy it, because if you do, this coin can be worth around $3,920 for a proof 60 example. It can be worth around $8,800 for a proof 63 and all the way up to $10,600 for a proof or PL example. Now, that is buku insane amounts of money for a Canadian 50-cent coin, but I am not too surprised considering that this one only has 276 examples and a super rare and unique history behind it. In conclusion, the value of the 2000p 50-cent coin is likely to continue to increase over time, as its rarity makes it a highly sought-after item amongst collectors. And whether you are a seasoned collector or just starting out in your coin collecting journey, this is definitely a good coin to have on your radar. You might never ever see one, you might never touch one, but still it's good to know about some of these rare coins because you never know if one is maybe floating around at a flea market or you're scrolling through eBay and you might stumble upon an authentic example of one of these and be able to make some really good money. Enter the 2000p Canadian dime. Now, this dime features the exquisite depiction of the iconic bluenose schooner on its reverse side. The bluenose is a symbol of Canadian maritime history, celebrated for its elegance and also its speed. The bluenose design was first introduced in the year 1937 and is still featured on the reverse of the 10-cent coins produced in Canada today. The bluenose design has become synonymous with Canadian identity and is beloved by collectors and Canadians alike. Its timeless beauty and significance make it a fitting tribute to the country's rich maritime heritage. Now, the reason that this particular dime holds such a special place in Canadian numismatic history, as it was one of the first dimes the Royal Canadian Mint used the P Mint mark to denote production at the new facility in Winnipeg, and also the composition change of Canadian coins. The introduction of the P Mint mark or composition mark on the 2000p Canadian dime marked a significant milestone for the Royal Canadian Mint. It not only signified the growing role of the facility in Winnipeg, but also highlighted the shift in composition of Canadian coins. The new composition change for the Canadian coins involved transitioning from a primarily nickel-based alloy to a multiply plated steel core. This change was implemented to improve durability and reduce production costs. The inclusion of this P Mint mark on the 2000p Canadian dimes serves as a visual representation of these advancements in both production and composition. Now, you might be wondering, what is the big deal? What is it that makes this coin so valuable? Well, it's not just about the value, but it's also about the excitement of the hunt and also the incredible stories they carry that make these coins incredibly special. But here's where it gets interesting. The 2000p dimes aren't your ordinary coins. They were part of a fascinating experiment at the Canadian Mint. While the Canadian 2000p nickels were released for circulation with a limited mintage of just under 5 million, the dimes and quarters with P Mint marks or composition marks didn't make their debut officially for circulation until the year 2001. There was a test set issued by the Mint in the year 1999 containing coins with the date 1999 and also P Mint marks, However, no such set was released in the year 2000, so any 2000p dimes or quarters that you come across with that P mint mark were either released by mistake or found their way into circulation through vending machine companies testing the new coins. The way that you can identify this 2000p dime is to look for the P mint mark under the bust of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse of the coin. The presence of this P mint mark on the 2000 dated Canadian dime adds to its rarity and collectability. It is only believed that a limited number of the 2000p dimes were ever produced. It is unknown exactly how many of these made their way into the wilds of circulation, but it is estimated that no more than 250 of these Holy Grail coins were ever produced. Now, this P mint mark indicates that the coin is made of multiply plated steel, which replaced the nickel and other compositions used before the year 2000. Now, I'm sure you are all wondering about the value of this coin. Unlike the 1969 large date dime, which I have covered in a previous video, these 2000p dimes are considered heirs. However, their scarcity and unique history make them a prized find for collectors. While these coins might not make you an instant millionaire, they can fetch you some pretty good money, especially if you were to find one of them in your pocket change. They are a true testament to Canada's ever-evolving coinage journey. So the next time you come across a 2000p Canadian dime in your change collection or coin roll hunting, remember, it's not just a coin, it is also a piece of history. Now that we have discussed the story and how to identify this extremely rare coin, what do you say we get into some of the specifications and potential value if you were ever to discover one of these gems floating around in your pocket change or in one of your coin roll hunts? Some of the details and specifications for the Canadian 2000p 10-cent coin. It is composed of multiply plated steel, which is 92% steel, 5.5% copper, and coated with 2.5% nickel. It has a weight of 1.75 grams, a diameter of 18.03 millimeters, and a thickness of 1.22 millimeters. The artists who designed and engraved the coin, the obverse was designed and engraved by Dora DePadre Hunt and Augo Aran, and the reverse was engraved and designed by Emmanuel Hahn. The edge of the coin is reeded, it is magnetic, and it has a die axis in metal alignment. So if you ever discover any of these, you definitely want to make sure that all of those specifications check out. You want to make sure the edge is reeded, it is magnetic, and has the correct weight and also thickness and diameter. Now, if you do identify all of those factors in terms of value, Coins in Canada does not actually list low-end values, but I will give you guys the North Central Coins estimate. If you were able to find a 2000p Canadian dime and it scores at the very bottom of the Sheldon scale, so that is around an AG3, I estimate you can probably get anywhere from $25 to $50 for it. Somebody will probably want it to fill out their collection, and even if you took it down to your local coin shop, they will probably pay a little bit of money for it. You might be able to get around $100 for a fine and up to $300 for an AU50. Now, when you start getting into the MS territory, you see some pretty big jumps in terms of value for this coin. It can be worth around $588 for an MS60. It can be worth around $931 for an MS64, and this bad boy can be worth all the way up to $2,410 for an MS67 example. Now, just to give you an idea in terms of value, the 2000 Canadian dime without a P mint mark is only worth around 25 cents for an MS60, and the maximum value that you could get for one of these is around $50 to maybe $75 if it scored an MS66 or MS67. So the 2000P is far rarer than the 2000 Canadian dime without the P mint mark, and you can definitely make some good money off of one of these if you were able to score one. Some of the great things about a lot of the coins that I am mentioning in these videos is that it is unknown exactly how many of them were released for circulation, so you never actually know if you might have one hiding in your change jar right now. In April of 1998, the Canadian Mint initiated the Millennium Coin Design Contest, inviting Canadians from all walks of life to contribute their creative visions to a set of 24 commemorative quarters symbolizing each month for the years 1999 and 2000. This ambitious contest aimed to encapsulate Canada's rich heritage and aspirations for the future through numismatic artistry. The designs for the 1999 quarters were intended to reflect upon the nation's past, while those for the year 2000 were oriented towards envisioning its future. Notably, the 1999 coins were inscribed with their retrospective month of issue, whereas the 2000 coins bore thematic labels representative of their themes. To culminate the turn of the millennium, the Canadian Mint issued this distinctive series of 12 commemorative 25-cent coins for circulation, additionally releasing them in different sets, some struck with a frosted cameo proof and sterling silver. These coins were encased within an elegant oval display case, and each coin in this special set embodies a significant aspect of Canada's illustrious history. The 1999 Millennium Quarter Series unfolds a narrative of Canada's diverse cultural tapestry and storied past through 12 evocative designs. From A Country Unfolds in January to This Is Canada in December, each month's quarter portrays a distinctive facet of the nation's identity. These coins serve not only as numismatic treasures, but also as reminders of the collective experiences and aspirations that define the Canadian spirit. At some point during the inception of production for the 1999 September 25-cent coins, an unanticipated twist emerged, and that was the utilization of the obverse die that was designated for the regular caribou 25-cent coins. This departure from the norm instigated the creation of a series of rare mule coins that would captivate collectors and enthusiasts alike. Amidst the creation process, a select number of these unconventional coins that are dubbed mules found their way into circulation. However, the primary destination for these mule coins was within uncirculated coin sets. It is speculated that certain mule coins might have ventured beyond the confines of these sets, potentially entering the hands of unsuspecting members of the public. This dispersion only adds to the intrigue surrounding these rare and elusive coins. Now, there were a few different sets released in 1999 to commemorate this Millennium series of quarters. There was one released in sterling silver, and then there was one released in just a base cardboard holder, and the coins are not anything special. They are basically just considered brilliant uncirculated, and there is really no way to tell them apart from their standard circulation counterparts. Now, for anyone seeking to discern whether they possess one of these rare mule coins, there exists telltale signs that set them apart. The most notable clue is that these mule coins do not feature the usual 25 cents written on the obverse of the Millennium series coins. Now, if you are to find one of these mule coins, your best chances is going to be to pull it from one of the sets issued in the same year. After the year 1977, Canadian numismatists refer to coins pulled out of these sets as NBU, or newly brilliant uncirculated specimens. NBU simply means that the coins were freshly minted and handled with extra care and then placed into these sets, which preserves their pristine condition straight from the mint, but there is nothing that sets them apart from the standard circulation counterparts. But it would seem when it comes to a lot of these holy grail mule coins that your best chances of finding them is to pull them out of the sets. And in the case of the 1999 Millennium sets, you want to look for the oval cardboard set that contains the Millennium series quarters. Now, just because these coins typically originate from mint sets doesn't mean that you can't ever stumble upon one in the wild. There is a small possibility that you could find one of these rare mules mixed in with standard business strikes. Now, how does that happen? Well, mint sets are often opened by collectors eager to examine their contents. Also, sometimes when coin collectors are strapped for cash, they will take their less valuable sets and crack them open and cash them in for face value. And one thing that I can personally attest, which is pretty sad, is I got the 1999 and 2000 Millennium sets when I was a kid. I was only 9 and 10 years old when these sets were released, and at some point when I was 14 or 15 years old, I cashed them in probably to buy some sandwiches or food from the corner store. Now, you would be amazed at the crazy NIFC coins that you can find if you are coin roll hunting, or if you search your pocket change. I have found some that have mintage figures as low as $20,000 and can be worth up to $150. And of all the different coin sets released by the Canadian Mint in the last 100 some odd years, this one has probably been cracked open and spent for their face value the most of just about any other coin series. Now, in terms of this coin's value, I do have some price estimates for you guys, and it is much more valuable than the regular issue 1999 September Millennium series quarter. If you were to find a regular issue 1999 September series Millennium quarter, the most that you could get for it is $25 for an NBU 67. If it scored any higher, you might be able to get a little bit more, maybe $50 to $100 if somebody really wants the coin. Now, the September Mule is another Canadian coin that is extremely rare. There's probably only 100 to 1,000 examples of this coin that exist, and its value does not necessarily represent its rarity. If you were able to find one of these in the wild, it would definitely be a pretty profitable find. Now, the price estimates kick in at NBU 64 for $129, and if you were able to find one of these out of a roll or a proof set and it is in pristine condition, it can be worth around $300 for an NBU 67. So if it scored any higher, you could easily be talking a $1,000 coin. And this is another extremely rare Canadian coin that I believe has some pretty low price estimates, and the potential for its value to increase will only go up as more awareness is drawn to it. Now, once again, just to quickly clarify, if you want to identify this rare mule coin on the 1999 September Millennium Series quarter, all you need to do is flip over to the obverse of the coin, and if it is missing the wording for 25 cents, then it has the obverse that was intended for the caribou quarters, and you have yourself the mule coin. You might as well check every single Millennium quarter that you find, because you never know when you might find a one-of-a-kind coin that could be worth some insane money. In the year 1999, to commemorate the establishment of Nunavut, Canada's newest territory, the Canadian government commissioned a special design for the Toonie. Renowned First Nations artist Jermaine Arnon-Tayok was selected to create this unique design, infusing it with cultural significance and symbolism reflective of Nunavut's heritage. Arnon-Tayok's artistic vision brought to life the essence of Nunavut's founding, celebrating its indigenous culture and the resilience of its people. This commemorative design graced all 1999 $2 coins intended for general circulation, becoming an emblem of Nunavut's identity and historical significance. Depicting motifs inspired by Inuit art tradition, such as Arctic wildlife and cultural symbols, the coin serves as a tangible representation of Nunavut's rich cultural heritage. This special edition of the Toonie held immense significance for Canadians nationwide, marking a milestone in the country's history and recognizing the importance of Indigenous voices and narratives. I actually remember when they first released this commemorative Nunavut Toonie. I was only 9 years old at the time, and it was probably the first commemorative coin that I ever found in my pocket change, and even I didn't know back then that decades later these coins would hold such significance in my own life. It's important to note that in 1999, the iconic polar bear design typically featured on Canadian $2 coins was only available in limited quantities within special coin sets tailored for the collector market. These sets were designed to appeal to numismatists and collectors and offered a unique opportunity to acquire a piece of Canadian history and culture. In the fascinating realm of Canadian numismatics, a remarkable tale unfolds with the 1999 Nunavut Mule Toonie, an era coin that captivates collectors with its unique characteristics and also historical significance. During the minting process of the Nunavut $2 coins, an unusual mishap occurred when the reverse die designated for the striking of proof silver coins was mistakenly employed to produce a portion of regular circulation coins. This unintentional blending of minting processes resulted in the creation of a select number of Nunavut Mule Toonies, adding to this intriguing chapter in the denomination's history. Identifying these elusive mule coins requires a keen eye and an understanding of their distinguishing features. Unlike their standard circulation counterparts, Nunavut Mule Toonies lack the raised ring around the inner core on the reverse side of the coin. This anomaly is particularly noteworthy given that the Nunavut Toonies were struck in both base metals for circulation and precious metals for collectors, with variations in the reverse design. By examining the reverse of the coin closely, you can discern the absence of the raised rim where the ring and insert meet, indicating the coin's status as the mule variant. Now, the overall mintage for the Canadian 1999 Nunavut Toonie is 25,130,000. Let's take a little look into some of the technical specifications into the coin. It was crafted with an outer ring made of 100% nickel and a core comprising of 92% copper, 6% aluminum, and 2% nickel. It has a weight of 7.3 grams and a diameter of 28 millimeters. The edge of the coin is serrated, which adds to its visual appeal and tactile experience, while the engraved designs on both the obverse and reverse sides showcase the artistic talents of renowned artists Dora DePadre Hunt, Jermaine Arnon-Tayok, and Jose Azio. With an estimated production of approximately 3,000 mule coins, the Nunavut mule toonie stands as a rare and coveted treasure within the realm of Canadian numismatics. Its unique status as a handsome mule, coupled with its association within the founding of Nunavut, Canada's newest territory, adds layers of historical significance and cultural resonance. As collectors and enthusiasts alike marvel at these intriguing specimens, each Nunavut mule toonie serves as a tangible testament to the intricacies and occasional surprises found within the world of coin minting. Now, once again, to identify this coin, Nunavut mule toonies lack the raised ring around the inner core on the reverse side of the coin. By examining the reverse side closely, you can discern the absence of the raised rim where the ring and the insert meet, which will indicate its status as the mule variant. So what do you say we discuss some of the values for the 1999 Nunavut toonies? Now, the regular base price for the 1999 polar bear out of the proof set, now this is not actually a proof strike, it is just simply a uncirculated set, is worth around $35 for the polar bear. That is the more valuable of the regular issues. And then there is the regular issue 1999 Nunavut without any errors or varieties. This is worth around $25 maximum, which isn't too bad. If you're able to score one of these sets for a pretty reasonable price, around $20, and the coins are in impeccable condition, you can still turn a little profit if you send it in to be graded. But then we have the holy grail, the Nunavut mule toonie, which is quite a bit more valuable than the other two, if I do say so myself. Now, the price estimates kick in for this coin at NBU 64, so it is not a proof-like strike or a proof strike, it is just a business strike that contains this mule air. For an NBU 64, it can be worth around $245. For a 66, it can be worth $318. And for an uncirculated 67, it can be worth around $537. If it did score any higher, a 68 or 69, you could easily be talking a $1,000 coin or more. Now, just to clarify quickly, in the realm of Canadian numismatics, coin sets play a pivotal role in commemorating significant events and celebrating our nation's rich heritage. One notable category within these sets is the NBU, or brilliant uncirculated coins. These coins, while not intended for circulation, are struck with the same composition as those produced for general circulation. The only difference is that they are basically packaged meticulously by the mint, but the actual strikes or finishes on these coins are no different than the standard circulation issues. From the moment of their minting, brilliant uncirculated set coins are carefully preserved in protective envelopes or the original packaging, which safeguards their luster and ensures their untouched state. However, once removed from these secure confines, distinguishing one of these brilliant uncirculated set coins from a circulated business strike becomes a more challenging task, as their identical compositions blur the lines between a numismatic treasure and an everyday currency. The evolution of terminology within the numismatic community sheds light on the significance of these brilliant uncirculated set coins. They were initially referred to as proof-like or PL coins, but the term underwent a transformation in the year 1977, with third-party grading companies and other references adopting the NBU designation. This change reflected a broader recognition of the coin's brilliant and uncirculated state, highlighting their value beyond more than currency. So pretty much what I am trying to tell you guys is, if you buy a Canadian proof set after the year 1977, your coins will receive a designation of NBU, meaning brilliant uncirculated out of a set. But if you send a pre-1977 coin in to be graded, it will either receive a PL proof-like designation, or if it's a little bit earlier, it might also receive the PR designation, which is the proof designation. The reason that I'm bringing this up is because a lot of these mule coins will get the NBU designation. They weren't actually produced for general circulation. That doesn't mean that you can't find them in your pocket change, or if you are coin roll hunting. Crazier things have happened and people have found true gems and one-of-a-kind holy grails before, so it is always good to have these coins on your radar and know what to look for so you don't accidentally let a gem slip back into the wilds of circulation. Now, the Canadian Loonie, being released in the year 1987, is a fairly modern coin, and unfortunately, finding a Loonie in your pocket change that will make you rich just isn't going to happen. But that doesn't mean that you can't keep your eyes out for one of these rare dollar coins, and if you find one, maybe today it isn't worth a fortune, but some of these have the potential to increase in value as time goes on, and they can definitely be worth more than face value, especially if they're in really good condition. Now in the year 2012, there were actually 4 different designs released for Canadian loonies. The first is the regular loon design. The second is the loon design with added and improved security features. The production of the security $1 coins is carried out at the Mint's state-of-the-art facility located in Winnipeg, Manitoba. These coins are crafted utilizing the innovative multiply plated steel technology, a patented method that has been employed in the manufacturing of Canada's lower denomination circulation coinage since 2001. This technology also involves the application of alternating layers of distinct metals such as copper, nickel, and brass onto a steel core. This process significantly reduces the amount of metals required compared to traditional alloy coins, resulting in a cost-effective and environmentally conscious approach to coin production. These $1 coins also boost the incorporation of advanced security features, contributing to the overall safeguarding of Canada's coinage system. Notably, the reverse side, also known as the tails, showcases a laser mark micro engraving. This addition enhances the visibility of security measures, providing an extra layer of protection against counterfeiting and bolstering the integrity of the currency. The third design released in 2012 is a circulation coin known as the Lucky Loonie, with a distinctive purpose serving as a good luck charm for Canadian athletes participating in the prestigious 2012 Olympic and Paralympic Games in London. This unique coin was crafted with the intention of bringing positive vibes and good fortune to the Canadian competitors on the global stage. The concept of the Lucky Loonie has its roots in a captivating legend that emerged during the 2002 Olympic Winter Games in Salt Lake City. According to the tale, a loonie, the iconic Canadian $1 coin featuring an image of a common loon, was discreetly buried at the center of the ice rink just before the commencement of the games. This hidden coin was believed to carry a charm that would bestow good luck upon Canada's hockey teams. Remarkably, in the year 2002, both the men's and women's hockey teams went on to secure gold medals, turning the Lucky Loonie into a symbol of superstition and national pride. Now, the fourth and final design for the Loonie in 2012 is actually the one that you want to look for. It was released to commemorate the 100th anniversary of the Grey Cup. This coin was issued as a tribute to the enduring legacy and significance of the Grey Cup, a symbol deeply ingrained in Canadian sports history. Struck with precision and artistry, the $1 coin features iconic imagery associated with the Grey Cup and its century-long tradition. The reverse side features a stylized depiction of the Grey Cup trophy and elements that capture the spirit of Canadian football. In addition to its artistic appeal, the coin serves as a tangible memento for Canadians to celebrate the rich heritage of Canadian football and the cultural significance of the Grey Cup. The issuance of this coin is not only a recognition of the sport's impact on Canadian identity, but also means of commemorating the athletes, teams, and fans who have contributed to the Grey Cup's storied legacy over the past 100 years. Now, people will usually try and fish out the loonies or toonies with added security features, as you would think that they would be worth more money, but that isn't really the case with these 2012 loonies. The value of both the Loon Reverse dollars from 2012 are both worth pretty much the same amount up and down the Sheldon scale, but little known to most, there is actually an heir that you can look for on the Grey Cup commemorative that can add a premium to the coin. Now, to identify this heir, what you want to do is look at the date of 2012 and identify machine doubling. Here's a brief explanation of how machine doubling occurs. During the coin minting process, a blank metal disc, also called a planchette, is placed on the lower die, and the upper die descends to strike the planchette, transferring the design onto it. Machine doubling occurs when there is a slight movement or shift of the coin or the die during the striking process. The result is that parts of the design appear doubled, giving the illusion of additional details or thickness. However, unlike true doubled dies, machine doubling does not involve the doubling of the coin die itself. Instead, it is a secondary unintended impression caused by movement during the striking of the coin. Machine doubling can often create a flattened or shelf-like appearance to the doubled elements. Unlike genuine doubled dies, machine doubling is typically not as sharp or well defined. It's also worth noting that machine doubling is a common occurrence and is usually considered a minor error in the minting process rather than a rare or sought after variety by coin collectors, But in the case of Canadian loonies, there are just so few that are actually worth any decent money that being able to identify even a minor error, especially if that date is known to contain one of these errors, can definitely add a premium to the coin. Now, in terms of value, a regular 2012 Grey Cup loonie isn't going to be worth much more than face value unless it is in impeccable condition, but it can be worth up to $100 if it does score an MS 67, which is usually one of the highest grades obtained by Canadian coins. That being said, if you were able to identify doubling on the date of 2012, it could easily add a premium of anywhere from 3 to 5 times its original value depending on how bad somebody wants this coin. So around $300 would be my estimate if you found one of these with doubling and it scored an MS 67. Usually PCGS does not attribute minor errors like this, but there is a chance if you send it off to ICCS, you may be able to get the extra error attribution, and thus the coin should be worth more money if it's in a high grade state at least. The transition of Canadian quarters from nickel alloy to multiply plated steel in the years 1999 and 2000 was a significant change in the production of Canada's circulating coinage. The switch was primarily driven by cost savings and the need for more durable coins. I'm going to give you guys a quick breakdown of this process so you can understand how this Holy Grail 2000p caribou quarter came into existence. There were several reasons and motivations for the Canadian Mint switching from the nickel alloy to the multiply plated steel. The first was cost savings. The Canadian Mint sought ways to reduce the production cost of coinage. Nickel, which had traditionally been a key component of Canadian coins, was becoming increasingly expensive. Also, durability. There was a strong desire to produce more durable coins. Canadian coins, especially the smaller denominations, were susceptible to wear and tear due to their softer nickel composition. Research and development. Prior to the transition, the Canadian Mint conducted extensive research and development to identify alternative materials that would meet the criteria of cost effectiveness and durability. The choice of multiply plated steel was a result of this research. The material offered a combination of durability and cost savings. Multiply plated steel is a composite material composed of several layers. The outer layers are typically made of steel, which is a hard and durable metal. The steel layers are then plated with a thin layer of other metals such as nickel or copper to provide the coins with their desired appearance and properties. These coins then go through design and testing phases. The new quarters were designed to look similar to the old nickel alloy quarters to ensure easy recognition and acceptance by the public. Extensive testing was conducted to ensure that the multiply plated steel quarters met the required quality and durability standards. These included tests for wear resistance, corrosion resistance, and overall coin longevity. The transition from nickel alloy to multiply plated steel coinage took place over a period of several years. New dies and machinery were put into place to accommodate this new coin material. The existing nickel alloy quarters remain in circulation and can still be found in your pocket change to this day. The minting process for multiply plated steel coinage is similar to that of traditional coin production, involving blanking and nailing, upsetting, striking, and inspection. However, the materials used in the blanks are different, with the new multiply plated steel blanks replacing the old traditional nickel alloy blanks. The Canadian Mint worked diligently to ensure that the public was aware of the change in coin material. They also coordinated with banks and financial institutions and vending machine companies to ensure a smooth transition and exchange of old nickel alloy quarters for the new multiply plated steel ones. This switch to multiply plated coinage was successful and reduced production costs for the Canadian Mint. It did also result in more durable coins that were better equipped to withstand the wear and tear of circulation. The transition did not significantly impact the appearance or functionality of the coins, so it was generally well received by the public. Now, the existence of this incredibly rare 2000p caribou quarter in Canada is indeed an intriguing numismatic mystery. While the Canadian Mint switched from the nickel alloy to multiply plated steel quarters between the years 1999 and 2000, the accidental release of only a few 2000p caribou quarters featuring a P mint mark on the obverse under the Queen's bust to indicate that it was composed of multiply plated steel still remains a puzzling anomaly to this day. Now, here's an explanation of how a few examples of this coin may have made their way into circulation. It could have been an accidental die mix-up. The most plausible explanation for the existence of these 2000p caribou quarters is that there was an accidental mix-up of the coin dies during the minting process. Dye mix-ups can occur in a minting facility where the wrong set of dyes is used to strike a batch of coins. In this case, it would have involved the use of dyes meant for 1999 or 2001 P quarters instead of the correct 2000 dyes. Now, each coin die has a different year assigned to it and are prepared and stored separately in the minting facility. Each die has specific designs for each year and denomination, including the image of Queen Elizabeth II for the obverse and usually the caribou design for the reverse. Due to this mix-up, a small batch of the 2000 caribou quarters would have been struck with the incorrect 1999 test token dies or the future 2001 P dies that they were planning on using the following year, which featured the caribou design on the reverse. The rest of the 2000 quarters would have been struck using the correct 2000 dies. Quality control procedures in minting facilities are designed to catch errors, but they are not foolproof. In this case, an oversight likely occurred during the quality control checks. Some of the coins produced with the incorrect dies may have passed inspection due to the similarities in size and composition to the regular quarters. After minting, the coins are typically transported to financial institutions for distribution. If any of the 2000p caribou quarters pass quality control checks, they would have entered the regular circulation stream like any other quarter. Now, another large possibility is that some of these quarters may have made their way into pocket change or circulation from being issued to vending machine companies. To ensure a smooth transition and to avoid disruptions in vending machines and coin-operated devices that accept quarters, the Canadian Mint needed to guarantee that the new multiply-plated coinage would be compatible with these machines. To test the compatibility of the new quarters with vending machines, the Canadian Mint produced a batch of test coins or test tokens with the new composition. These test coins were initially struck with the same design as regular quarters to resemble the appearance of circulating currency. Eventually, the Canadian Mint distributed these coins to vending machine manufacturers and companies that operated vending machines across Canada. The companies used these test coins or tokens to calibrate their vending machines and ensure that they would accept the new quarters without issue. So it is definitely possible that some of the 2000p caribou quarters could have made their way into the hands of vending machine companies who could have then held on to them or then passed them down to relatives. Now that you guys have some information on how this coin came into existence, to identify it, basically it looks the same as just about any other regular Canadian quarter. It has the caribou on the reverse, but if you flip it over to the obverse, you want to look for a little P mark or mint mark under the Queen's bust to indicate that it is made of multiply plated steel. If you can find this mint mark on a 2000 reverse Canadian quarter, then you have yourself a holy grail coin. Now, from the information that I came across, currently there are only 2 known examples of the 2000p caribou quarter, and you can get around $36,300 for an MS65 example. So if you did find one of these and it was all beat up, worn, and been through the meat grinder, so even at the very bottom of the Sheldon scale, you can still expect to get a couple $100 or maybe even a couple $1,000 for this coin because it is so rare and there are so few of them that exist. And even though it may seem highly unlikely that you could ever stumble across one of these coins, crazier things have happened. I have met coin roll hunters that have had some crazy finds. I'm talking entire boxes of silver quarters and even better. So always keep your eyes open because you never know what you can find in your pocket change. In the year 2021, to commemorate the 100th anniversary of the iconic bluenose ship, the Royal Canadian Mint introduced a redesign for the Canadian 10-cent coin, featuring a new artistic rendition by Nova Scotia marine artist Yves Berube. In a groundbreaking move, the Mint also released Canada's first ever colored dimes, incorporating a touch of blue to vividly portray the essence of the bluenose. The inspiration for this redesign actually traces back to the year 1937, when the bluenose ship, symbolizing a cherished national emblem for Canada, influenced the original design of the 10-cent coin during the reimagining of Canada's circulating coins. Marie Lemay, president and CEO of the Royal Canadian Mint, expressed enthusiasm about this historic occasion, emphasizing the enduring legacy of the bluenose in Canadian history. The bluenose was launched in March 1921 from Lunenburg Harbor and quickly gained fame as the swiftest fishing schooner worldwide. Not only did it secure a record catch on the Grand Banks in its inaugural season, but it also brought the International Fisherman's Trophy to Nova Scotia. The bluenose maintained an undefeated status in racing for almost 2 decades, earning the title Queen of the North Atlantic Fishing Fleet. Its international representation included notable appearances at events such as the Chicago World's Fair in 1933 and His Majesty King George V's Silver Jubilee in 1935. Contrary to its name, the bluenose actually had a black and red hull with a yellow strip. The term bluenose had been a moniker for Nova Scotians since at least the year 1785. The coin's reverse was designed by Yves Berube and showcases an angled view of the bluenose under a full sail and heeled to port on an open sea. This dynamic portrayal is available in both colored and uncolored versions, both of which bear the double-dated inscription 1921 to 2021. The colored version is groundbreaking for a 10-cent circulation coin, featuring blue highlights that represent the deep waters of the North Atlantic. The obverse side features the effigy of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. Now, even though these commemorative design dimes from the year 2021 are incredibly revolutionary and beautiful, it is actually the single date plain design for the 2021 dime that you are looking for. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, there are actually 4 different designs for the 2021 dime. The first is the colored bluenose, then there is the uncolored commemorative bluenose design, then there is the double date, which will have the date of 1921 to 2021, and then there is the single date dime, which will only have the date of 2021, and that is the one that you want to look for. The mintage of a coin refers to the total number of copies produced, and it plays a crucial role in determining a coin's rarity and potential value in the collector's market. In the context of the 4 different designs for Canadian dimes in the year 2021, the regular design with a single date has a much lower mintage compared to the other 3 designs, making it more valuable and rare for several different reasons. Distribution and circulation. The regular design of a coin is often the one intended for general circulation, and these coins are distributed widely for everyday transactions. Usually special or commemorative designs will be produced in smaller quantities and may not be as widely circulated, but in the case of the single date 2021, it is actually the opposite. Collector interest. Collectors often show a keen interest in special or limited edition coin designs, leading to a higher demand for these coins. Usually the regular designs, being more common and part of everyday transactions, might not attract the same level of collector attention initially. But this is actually something that adds to the intrigue and allure of this single date 2021, as because it does not stand apart from any other Canadian dime in terms of its design, they can easily slip under the radar of normal coin muggles, I guess we will call them. Now, when I say coin muggle, I am not trying to say it in a derogatory sense, but basically it is a term that I will use for anyone that doesn't have any knowledge of numismatics, and they might actually let a coin that is worth a lot of money go in an everyday transaction. That's why it is always good to arm yourself with a little bit of knowledge, that way you don't accidentally let a coin into circulation that is worth hundreds or thousands of dollars by mistake. Minting decisions. Mintage decisions are made by the mint, and they're based on factors such as public demand, commemorative events, and overall coin production requirements. Regular designs are typically minted in larger quantities to meet the demands of daily commerce, while special designs may have limited mintages. Now, my best guess when it comes to the 2021 single date dime is that the Canadian Mint didn't actually have a really good plan in 2021 for how they were going to roll out the commemorative dimes. They may have actually struck some of the single date dimes at the beginning, and then when they eventually planned or introduced the double date dimes with the date of 1921 to 2021, they may have actually switched up and produced a larger quantity of those. And because they had already made a decent amount of the single dates initially, they just released them into circulation and gave them out to banks. A similar situation would probably be with the 1991 quarters that have a very low mintage of around 450,000. Marketing and promotion. Special designs are often actively marketed and promoted by the mint, generating additional interest and demand. Regular designs may not receive the same level of promotional effort, which actually probably made the 2021 single date fly under the radar a little bit. Due to these factors and its lower mintage, coupled with the potential lower initial collector interest, can contribute to its rarity and consequently its increased value among collectors over time. However, the actual rarity and value will depend on the coin's condition and also the collector landscape for that particular year. Now, some of the details and specifications for the 2021 single date Canadian dime, if any of these are off, it may indicate that it is not an authentic example. It is composed of 92% steel, 5.5% copper, and 2.5% nickel. It has a weight of 1.75 grams, a diameter of 18.03 millimeters, and a thickness of 1.22 millimeters. The coin was designed and engraved by Susanna Blunt and Suzanne Taylor for the obverse and Emmanuel Hahn for the reverse. The edge is reeded, it is magnetic, and has a die-axis and metal alignment, which is the standard for most Canadian, Australian, and British coins. Now, in terms of value, this is not a coin that you're going to get rich off of today. This is one that definitely has the potential to increase in value over time, and if you were to find one and it had any errors or anything special or notable about it, it may add to its value quite substantially. But it cannot be stated enough how rare these things are and how small your chances actually are of ever stumbling upon one of these in your pocket change. If you're a coin roll hunter, you might get lucky and find one of these every couple of boxes, but chances are you're gonna have to search and search if you wanna find one of these bad boys. Now, in terms of value on the low end, it doesn't hold too much of a premium, but I would say you can probably get around $1 for one of these, even if it's beat up, worn, and been put through the meat grinder. But the good news is it's a fairly recent dime, only 2 years old as I'm making this video. So chances are most of them are gonna be in pretty good shape at this point still. But if you were able to find one and it scores at the high end of the Sheldon scale, so that is an MS67, you can get around $100 for this right now. Now, it is by far the most rare and valuable of all the different 2021 dimes that you can find, and I have no doubt that in 10 or 20 years, its value could easily increase tenfold. The 2010 large bead variety Loonie, which if found in a high grade state can be worth some really good money. Now, there were 4 different designs put out for circulation in the year 2010 for the Canadian $1 coin. The large bead variety can be found on the regular loon reverse design. The other reverse designs feature the Saskatchewan Rough Riders, a Navy commemorative, and also one for the Vancouver Olympics. The large bead Loonie is referred to as a Type 1 and the small bead is considered Type 2. There are several ways to check for the large beads on this coin, the easiest of which should be to flip over to the obverse and look at the A in Elizabeth. If it's the large bead, the A should point directly to a bead. You can also look at the I in Regina, and the I should point between the denticles. If you can identify both of those factors, then you have the large bead Loonie, and that's the one that you are looking for. So let's discuss the value of this coin. Unfortunately, there aren't too many Loonies out there to look for that you can retire from at this point, but when it comes to collecting, sometimes you have to play the long game. Just because a coin isn't worth a fortune today doesn't mean that it can't easily change. The 2010 large bead Loonie isn't worth much more than face value in a low grade state. I'm sure you could all sell one for a premium if someone really wanted to fill a hole in their collection or album. Even at an MS65, it is only worth around $50. If you were to find one in a higher grade, you could easily see some price jumps. I wouldn't doubt that you can maybe get or sell one if it graded around an MS67 for $300 or more. It feels crazy to say that 2010 was 13 years ago, but in terms of numismatics, that is nothing, and because this Loonie is so modern, it makes finding high-grade examples much more possible. So even though you won't get rich off of this Loonie if you find one of them coin roll hunting or in your pocket change today, it is still a good one to pull out and keep off to the side, especially if it is in a really good condition. You could send it off to be graded by a company like PCGS or NGC, and then you could turn around and sell it for a profit at either your local coin shop or maybe eBay or Facebook Marketplace. Those are the best places usually to buy and sell coins. I have people ask me that all the time. So between the years of 2000 and 2006, it was quite an experimental time at the Royal Canadian Mint for Canadian pennies, and because of this, 6 different varieties were actually created for the Canadian 2006 penny, and amongst those, there is a Holy Grail penny that can be worth crazy amounts of money. In the past, I've discussed some of the Holy Grail coins that have been discovered or that you can actually find, but there are a few modern coins that are as rare and valuable as the 2006 P non-magnetic Canadian penny. The thing about this coin is that you actually have a decent chance of finding one of them if you hunt pennies regularly. I have actually heard of Canadian coin roll hunters stumbling upon this rare gem. It is honestly one of the most well-known and looked for pennies in Canada that you actually have a decent chance of finding eventually. In terms of its scarcity, this penny actually reminds me a lot to the 1922 to 1925 George V pennies. These pennies, although extremely rare and hard to come by, are not impossible to find, and even in low-grade examples of both the 2006 P non-magnetics and also some of the early 1920s small pennies, they can all be worth minimum of $20 to $30, even at the bottom of their grading tier. So very similar values and scarcity for these Canadian pennies. So stay tuned, because I'm definitely going to be making some videos in the future on those early 1920s Canadian small cents. They can be worth just absolutely insane money. But what do you say we discuss the values and specifications of these 2006 Canadian pennies? Because as I mentioned, there are 6 different varieties, and some of them can be worth some okay money, some of them can be worth pretty much face value, and some of them can be worth a whole heck of a lot of money. And I'm also going to talk briefly about an extremely valuable 2005 Canadian penny out of a proof set that you should definitely have on your radar as well. So let's get into the values of these coins. I'm going to start with these 2005s because they're actually a little bit easier. Now, in terms of value, the 2005s are not too rare or too valuable, at least to find the business strikes or circulation examples. But there exists an extremely rare and valuable variety for the 2005 Canadian pennies, and it is actually a proof strike, and that is the 2005 P non-magnetic Canadian proof penny. Now, just to give you guys an idea of the values of the 2005 Canadian pennies, the 2005 regular Canadian proof strike, so no P mint mark, is worth around $1.95 for a PL64 example, and can be worth around $40 for a PL67. The 2005 P from the proof sets, the magnetic example, is worth around $1.45 for a PL64 and can be worth all the way up to $32.90 for a PL67. And then we have the 2005 P non-magnetic. Now this thing is a holy grail. Your chance of finding it in a coin roll hunt is pretty much slim to nil, but never say never. I have seen much crazier things happen. Your best chance of finding one of these 2005 P non-magnetic Canadian proof pennies is to carry a magnet around with you, go to coin shops, flea markets, maybe check Facebook Marketplace or Kijiji and look for 2005 Canadian proof sets with P mint marks. And basically you just got to throw that magnet onto the penny, and if it doesn't stick to the penny, you might have a holy grail coin that can be worth $1,150 for a PL64 and all the way up to $3,290 for a PL67. This is one of the holy grails of the modern Canadian pennies. There were very few examples struck, so definitely keep your eyes out for 2005 P proof sets. And if you have a magnet with you, maybe just give that penny a little tap, and if it doesn't stick, then you might have a jackpot on your hands. All right, so what do you say we start going through the 2006 pennies? I'm going to discuss the compositions as well as some of the identifying factors of these pennies, so that way you can find the ones that are worth good money, because there are 2 of the 2006 pennies that can be extremely rare and valuable. So the first one that we are going to discuss is not going to be one of the rare ones, and that is the 2006 with a P mint mark, and this is a magnetic example. So to identify this, you want to flip over to the obverse and look for a little P mint mark under the bust of the queen. It will also have a magnetic steel planchette. Now, in terms of value, it's worth around 5 cents for an MS60, so pretty much worth face value at the bottom of the MS scale, maybe slightly more. And this one can be worth $73.70 for an MS67 example, which is an extremely high grade example. Now, next up, we're actually going to discuss the rarest and most valuable of the 2006 Canadian pennies, and that is the 2006 P non-magnetic. So basically, to identify this one, you want to flip over to the obverse of the coin and look for a little P mint mark under the bust of the queen. This coin will have a non-magnetic copper planchette. Now, one of the great things about the rare 2006 pennies that also makes them one of the most searched for pennies here in Canada when it comes to coin roll hunting is that they actually have a pretty decent value on the low end. Now, the 2006 P non-magnetic can be worth around $40 for a VF12, so that is pretty much at the bottom of the Sheldon scale. Even if it is absolutely beat up, sat in a parking lot, you're going to be getting $10 or $20 for this coin. People want them for their collection, and even though they are out there, they are honestly a unicorn, and you almost never stumble across them. So as I mentioned, this 2006 P non-magnetic can be worth around $40 for a VF example. It can be worth $132 for an almost uncirculated 50, and then on the high end it can be worth $500 for an MS60 and all the way up to $2,000 for an MS65. This is a fairly recent penny. I have found coins much older in a high mint state before, so your chances of finding one of these and it actually being in decent condition is not too terrible, honestly. So always keep your eyes out for the 2006 pennies and throw your 2006 P's to the side. Check them with the magnet, and if that magnet does not stick, then you have yourself one extremely rare coin. Now next we'll get into the 2006s with the Royal Canadian Mint logo. Now there is a non-magnetic and a magnetic. Neither of these are particularly rare or valuable. The first we will discuss is the 2006 non-magnetic with the Royal Canadian Mint logo under the bust. To identify it, you want to flip over to the obverse, look for the Royal Canadian Mint logo under the Queen's bust, and this will have a non-magnetic copper planchette. In terms of value, it's worth around 10 cents for an MS60, and it can be worth up to $45.30 for an MS67, which is an extremely high grade. And then we have the 2006 Royal Canadian Mint logo with a magnetic planchette. To identify this, you want to flip over to the obverse, look for that Royal Canadian Mint logo under the Queen's bust. It will have a magnetic steel planchette, and it can be worth around $1.95 for an MS60 and around $177 for an MS67. So this is definitely the rare of the two varieties, and it may be a good idea to pull a few of these to the side if you're a coin roll hunter. The 2006 Royal Canadian Mint magnetic seems to be the rare and more valuable of the two. And the last two varieties for the Canadian 2006 pennies that we are going to discuss today are the 2006s without any mint marks. Now, just like the previous four pennies mentioned, there is a magnetic and non-magnetic example for the 2006 Canadian penny with no mint mark. The rare one of the two is the 2006 magnetic. First, we'll discuss the 2006 non-magnetic. Now, to identify this, you want to flip over to the obverse of the coin, and there will be no P or no logo of the Royal Canadian Mint mark under the Queen's bust, and it will also have a non-magnetic copper planchette. In terms of value, it's worth around 5 cents for an MS60 example, and can be worth around $47 for an MS67. So very similar prices on the high end for the more common of the 2006 coins. And then we have the second of the Holy Grail 2006 pennies, and that is the 2006 magnetic no mint mark. Now, to identify this, you want to flip over to the obverse of the coin, and you are looking for no mint mark under the Queen's bust. It will have a magnetic steel planchette. Now, it was not made in sets, it was only released in circulation. I have still yet to find either of these two of the rare 2006 pennies, but I shall keep looking, and maybe, just maybe, I will have my day. In terms of value, the 2006 magnetic no mint mark can be worth around $75 for an MS60 and all the way up to $863 for an MS67. This one isn't super valuable on the low end. It can be worth around $10 to $20. If it's in a low grade state, people still really want it for their collections. And because you almost never stumble across these things in the wild, people are always willing to pay a premium to add them to their collection. If you ever did find one of these, I would suggest trying to sell it on maybe eBay or Facebook Marketplace. That's usually where you get the most amount of money for these coins. You can maybe try taking it to your local coin shop, but they're usually not interested in varieties like this. They might pay you like a couple dollars or something like that if you're lucky. The Canadian 2009 Olympic Quarter Series is a set of commemorative quarters issued by the Royal Canadian Mint to celebrate the Vancouver 2010 Olympic and Paralympic Winter Games. Here's a brief breakdown of the series. The series consists of 17 different designs, each representing a different Olympic sport or Paralympic event. The designs showcase various winter sports such as skiing, snowboarding, hockey, curling, and more. The quarters were released in stages throughout the late 2000s leading up to the Winter Games in 2010. Each design was released individually in limited quantities, adding to their collectability. The mintage for each of the designs varied, with some being more abundant than others. However, overall, the series generated significant interest among collectors due to its unique theme and the limited availability of some of the pieces in the series. Some of the quarters featured colorized elements to enhance the design and highlight specific details of the sports depicted, such as the men's hockey, women's hockey, and Cindy Klassen quarters. These colored versions have a mintage of 3 million each, making them relatively rare by numismatic standards and highly sought after by collectors. Alongside the Olympic-themed quarters, the series also featured designs commemorating the Paralympic Games. These Paralympic quarters celebrate the achievements of para-athletes and highlight the diversity of the winter sports showcased during the Paralympic Winter Games. The inclusion of both Olympic and Paralympic themes in the series adds depth and inclusivity to the overall collection, reflecting Canada's commitment to promoting equality and diversity in sports. The 2007 Alpine Skiing Painted Leaf 25-cent mule coin presents an intriguing case in the world of numismatics. This particular mule variety can only be found within special cards issued by Petro-Canada in a number of collector sets. What sets this coin apart is the unconventional use of the 2008 obverse die instead of the proper 2007 die, resulting in the striking of approximately 40,000 coins with the wrong date of 2008 instead of the intended 2007. Interestingly, despite fitting the definition of a mule coin due to the mismatched dies, a peculiar circumstance arises with this particular variety. While the 2008 dated coins technically qualify as mules, the rarity of the correct 2007 dated coins poses an intriguing conundrum. With only around 900 coins bearing the correct 2007 date compared to the significant larger quantity of mule coins produced, one would expect the mule coins to be less valuable than their correctly dated counterparts. Now, to determine whether your coin is a mule or the regular issue, it is pretty simple. You just need to inspect the obverse side. The normal version will display the date 2007, while the mule variety will show the date 2008. This subtle difference distinguishes between the two varieties and adds a level of allure to collecting these unique pieces. When considering the value of the 2007 Alpine Skiing Painted Leaf 25-cent mule coin, several factors come into play. Despite the larger quantity of mule coins that were produced, the scarcity of the correct 2007 dated coins adds a layer of complexity to their valuation. Collectors often place greater value on coins with a lower mintage figure, such as the correct 2007 dated coins, due to their rarity and desirability. However, the novelty and curiosity surrounding these mule coins can also attract interest from collectors that seek unique and unusual pieces for their collections. So this one really comes down to preference, but it would seem that the more desirable of the two is the mule coin, and chances are if you buy one of these, you are probably going to get the mule. But if you get the regular issue 2007 dated colored Alpine Skiing quarter, then you have yourself a coin with a mintage figure of 900 or less. So it's pretty much a win-win scenario either way, whether you are seeking a coin with a very low mintage figure or you are seeking a rare variety to add to your collection. While the mule variety of the 2007 Alpine Skiing Painted Leaf 25-cent coin may seem quite abundant compared to its correct dated counterpart, its value is influenced by several factors, including the rarity of coins, demand from collectors, and also the circumstances of its acquisition, meaning how you actually find the coin. Collectors intrigued by the novelty of mule coins and those seeking to complete their collections with rare varieties may find these coins to be valuable additions, despite the unexpected dynamics surrounding their production and availability. Now, one of these sealed sets typically commands a price of $15 to $30. Now, for this price, you are paying for a single coin, as the colored quarter is the only coin that you receive in this set, and also any accompanying packaging or documentation that they include. So you want to pay as little as possible if you aren't able to actually inspect the set and get a look at the sealed quarter inside the packaging, as anything extra you do pay will be a loss of profit unless you can identify the mule variety and it is also in impeccable condition. Now, if you were able to find and identify the mule in this set, I would suggest leaving it in the set and making sure that it is stored in a safe spot where it can't be affected by light, dust, or any environmental hazards. If you were to find one of these coins outside of the set, or if you are brave enough to crack open the package, you could send it off to be graded at PCGS or ICCS, but you definitely want to make sure that the company you are sending it to will give it the proper attribution you are looking for, but I am pretty sure all the companies will designate mule coins. Now, in terms of this quarter's value, a high-grade example of this mule coin, such as a PL65, which is a proof-like 65 specimen, can significantly increase in value, with an estimated worth of around $50 for a PL65 example. Although this is a recognized variety, not a lot of people know about it, and it currently is flying under the radar a little bit, and I believe some of these estimations on Canadian coins are a little low currently, and as they become more popular and as I make more videos, I'm sure the popularity and values will only increase. So, $50 for a PL65. Now there is also the grading cost to consider. You're going to be paying anywhere from $15 to $40 to get your coin graded depending on where you send it and where you live, so you have to make sure that the condition of the coin validates the potential value when you pay for the sealed set, and then also for the grading fee after that. If you buy the coin set and then send the coin to be graded all for under $50, then you will most likely make a profit on this coin, but anything you go over that line, it will eat into the potential money that you can make if and when you want to sell the coin. Now, if the mule coin scores higher than a PL65, its value could substantially escalate. In some cases where the coin exhibits exceptional quality, it's not uncommon for its value to soar to the range of $300 to $500 or even higher. Coins graded higher than PL65 are considered exceptional specimens and are highly sought after by serious collectors willing to pay a premium for top quality examples. Overall, the potential value of the 2007 Alpine Skiing Painted Leaf 25-cent mule coin hinges on several factors, including its condition, the grade, and market trends. Collectors interested in acquiring these mule coins should consider these factors when assessing their potential value and investment prospects in the numismatic market. The Canadian $1 coin, affectionately referred to as the Loonie, is a gold-colored coin issued by the Canadian Mint in Winnipeg since its debut in the year 1987. Its reverse side features the design of a common loon, a bird widespread in Canada. Queen Elizabeth II graces the obverse of the coin until recently when King Charles III is about to make his debut. Now the coin has seen various commemorative additions with unique designs replacing the loon image. With its distinctive 11-sided polygonal shape and unique dimensions, the Canadian loonie bears a resemblance to the Susan B. Anthony dollar in the United States. The coin's shade matches the gold color of the Saskagawea and presidential dollars. After its introduction, the term loonie became synonymous with the Canadian dollar. In common Canadian language, it's often discussed in media regarding its exchange rate. The Canadian Mint actually acquired the trademark for the term loonie in the year 2006. When the Canadian $2 coin was introduced in the year 1996, it quickly earned the moniker of Toonie, a blend of two and loonie. In March of 1986, the Canadian government announced the phasing out of the dollar bill in favor of the new dollar coin to be introduced the following year. The initial production of 300 million coins costing $31.8 million aimed to generate annual revenue exceeding the production costs. Funds from the coin, including $60 million for the 1988 Winter Olympics in Calgary, were expected to benefit various projects. The decision to model the coin after the Susan B. Anthony dollar aimed to ensure compatibility with US vending machines, as it shared a similar size and color. The perceived failure of the Susan B. Anthony dollar in the United States, which was attributed to its unattractiveness and resemblance to the quarter coin, actually influenced the design and marketing approach for the new dollar coins. Now, before we discuss this loonie variety, first we should go over the gentleman who is actually featured on this coin. He's a Canadian whose story is not only inspirational, but has made him one of the most beloved and cherished icons in Canadian history, and that man is Terry Fox. Terry Fox was born on July 28, 1958 in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. In the year 1977, at the age of 18, he was tragically diagnosed with bone cancer in his right leg. To prevent the cancer from spreading, Terry's right leg was amputated 6 inches above the knee, and he received a prosthetic limb. While undergoing treatment, Terry was deeply moved by the suffering of cancer patients around him. He then conceived the idea of the Marathon of Hope, a cross-country run to raise awareness and funds for cancer research. Terry believed that if each Canadian donated $1, it could make a significant impact. On April 12, 1980, Terry Fox dipped his artificial leg in the Atlantic Ocean in St. John's, Newfoundland, marking the start of his cross-country run. Despite challenges and skepticism, Terry remained determined to run across Canada to the Pacific Ocean. His journey covered an average of 42 kilometers or 26 miles per day, the equivalent of a marathon. His journey took him through 6 provinces, and he faced physical challenges including blisters, extreme weather, and exhaustion. Along the way, Terry became a national hero, capturing the hearts of Canadians. After running for 143 days and covering 5,373 kilometers, that's 3,339 miles, Terry Fox was forced to stop near Thunder Bay, Ontario on September 1st, 1980. Unfortunately, the cancer had returned and spread to his lungs, making it impossible for him to continue. Terry Fox's Marathon of Hope raised over $24 million for cancer research. He became a symbol of hope, courage, and the power of one individual to make a difference. Terry Fox passed away on June 28, 1981 at the age of 22, but his legacy lives on through the annual Terry Fox Run and the ongoing work of the Terry Fox Foundation. Terry Fox's story continues to inspire people globally, and his impact on cancer research and awareness remains immeasurable. Now, what do you say we get into the coin that you guys are all here to find out about, and that is the 2005 Terry Fox No Grass variety. In the year 2005, the Canadian Mint decided to immortalize Terry Fox by featuring a depiction of his incredible marathon on the reverse of some of the Loonies released for circulation that year. Little known to most, there are actually two recognized varieties for this Loonie which gravitate around the presence or density of what should be a patch of grass behind Terry Fox. The more rare of these two varieties is the no grass, which to identify you want to look at the grass in the background behind Terry Fox's ankle. Now, there will still be some grass present in the no grass variety, but it should be more spread out and not quite as dense as the regular grass variety. Now, I will put an example of what the no grass variety looks like on the screen right now, but what I suggest is if you find a 2005 Terry Fox Loonie, that you hold on to it regardless if it is the grass or no grass variety, and you actually use it to compare or as a reference if you do find any more, and you can probably determine a lot more easily whether you have the grass or no grass variety. Now, some of the details and specifications for this coin. The 2005 Terry Fox Loonie has an overall mintage of 12,909,000. It is composed of 91.5% nickel and 8.5% bronze. It has a weight of 7 grams, a diameter of 26.50 millimeters, and a thickness of 1.75 millimeters. The coin was designed and engraved by Susanna Blunt and Susan Taylor for the obverse, and Robert R. Carmichael and Terrence Smith for the reverse. The edge is smooth, it is magnetic, and has a die-axis and metal alignment, as is the standard for most Canadian, Australian, and British coins. Now, unfortunately, as is the case with most Canadian Loonie and Toonies, it is very hard to find any that are worth much more than face value, especially when they are pretty beat up. But even though these coins are not worth a fortune today, they do have the potential to increase in value over time, as they have already seen some pretty big price jumps, and only being a few decades old means that if you do find one, it will usually be in pretty good shape. Charlton Catalogs currently evaluates this coin at $150 for an MS66 example, but Coins in Canada gives it a much lower value. Now, MS66 is a very high grade, but it is not the top of the Sheldon scale. It is not quite an MS67, so that is pretty good news. If you are able to cherry pick or find an entire roll of these 2005 Terry Fox Loonies, and they are all the no grass variety, you can probably make a pretty decent profit. I've seen these for sale at some of my local coin shops, and they are usually going for a pretty decent price. But regardless, it is one of the more rare and iconic Canadian Loonies that you can look for whether you are searching through your pocket change or coin roll hunting, and definitely a good one to have on your radar. So this coin is classified as a specimen mule, meaning that it comes out of the 2010 Wildlife Specimen set. The inception of specimen finishes marked a turning point in the world of coin minting, as it elevated the art form to new heights of sophistication and complexity. Each coin meticulously crafted with this finish serves as a testament to the ingenuity and skill of our artisans who meticulously execute every detail with precision and care. From the precisely machined matte lines that form the backdrop to the intricate relief elements brought to life with intricate detailing, each aspect of the specimen finish reflects a commitment to excellence and a dedication to pushing the boundaries of what is possible in coin design. In modern numismatics, specimen coins continue to captivate collectors with their unparalleled beauty and craftsmanship. While the original intent of the finish was to showcase technical capabilities, it has since become synonymous with elegance and refinements in coin design. Today, collectors eagerly anticipate the release of new specimen coins and sets, each offering a unique interpretation of the finish with varying degrees of frosting and texture. From classic designs to innovative motifs, specimen coins continue to inspire awe and admiration among numismatists and collectors worldwide, cementing their status as cherished treasures within any collection. The Canadian 2010 specimen dime presents a fascinating anomaly in the realm of numismatics, known as a reverse handsome mule. This unique variety can only be found within special specimen sets, specifically those containing the Lynx Kittens $2 coins. While these sets were originally intended to showcase the beauty of Canadian wildlife, some specimens deviated from the norm due to a production fault. At some point when the dimes for this set were being struck, instead of featuring the proper 2010 specimen finish obverse die, a 2010 circulation strike obverse die was inadvertently used during the minting process. This unexpected occurrence resulted in the striking of a small number of coins with a mismatched finish, earning them the moniker of reverse handsome mule coins. The combination of a circulation or business strike die on a proof or specimen coin adds an extra layer of intrigue and complexity, making them highly sought after by collectors seeking rare and unusual varieties. Identifying whether your coin is a mule is relatively straightforward. Simply inspect the background of the obverse side. If it exhibits a glossy finish instead of the expected matte finish seen on regular specimen coins, it is likely a mule. This distinct difference in surface texture serves as a telltale sign of the mule variety, distinguishing it from standard counterparts and adding to the allure among collectors. Now, as I mentioned, this is a specimen coin, so your best chance of being able to find one of these mules is going to be pulling it out of the 2010 specimen set, but that doesn't say that you can't ever find one of these in the wild. Who knows if maybe there is another version of this where they accidentally struck some of the business strikes with a specimen finish, so it is always good to have these dates on your radar so you know what to look for. I have found plenty of NIFC coins in some of my coin roll hunts in the past, including specimen and proof coins, and if you were to find a Canadian 10-cent specimen coin from the year 2010, it definitely doesn't hurt to flip it over to the obverse and look for that glossy finish, which would indicate that it was struck with the business strike obverse die, and then you have an extremely rare coin. Now, there are some price evaluations for this piece. It is designated as an SP because it is a specimen coin. The lowest price valuation kicks in at an SP64 for $294. Coins graded SP64 are considered to be in choice uncirculated condition with minor imperfections. Despite these flaws, coins graded SP64 will still maintain strong eye appeal and overall attractiveness to collectors. Now, the next valuation is for an SP65, which is $343. This coin is evaluated at $345 for an SP66, so you're not seeing huge price jumps for this coin as it does increase in the grading tiers, but still this is one that not a lot of people know about, and it will definitely see some increase in value over time. Now, the maximum appraised value for this coin is $415 for an SP67. It is possible that it could score higher. A lot of modern Canadian coins can score higher than the 67 mark. It is very rare for older Canadian coins to score above either an MS 67, a proof 67, or a specimen 67. But modern coins have a lot better of a chance, especially coins like Toonies, Loonies, and the colored quarters. I have definitely seen some higher graded examples of those. Now, $415 for an SP67. For Canadian coins, SP67 basically represents the pinnacle of preservation with virtually no visible imperfections, even under magnification. Finding coins in your pocket change with a high grade like this is very uncommon, but when you are pulling a Canadian specimen coin out of a set, they take a lot of care when they're striking the specimen coins at the Canadian Mint. There is definitely an extra level of care when the Canadian Mint produces specimen coins. They probably put them into the sets very carefully, and they probably have extra levels of quality assurance to make sure not too many flaws or errors get out there, even though there are some of these rare mules that have been accounted for. Now, your best chance of being able to find the 2010 mule specimen dime is going to be to pull it out of a fresh 2010 specimen set If you want to be able to get one of these sets, the best places to find them are probably your local coin shop. You could try eBay, maybe Kijiji, or Facebook Marketplace. You definitely don't want to pay too much for the set, but unfortunately the coins in this set are facing reverse side out, so you will not really be able to scope out if it actually has this mule inside it. It will be a bit of a gamble, but if you are able to score one of these sets for a reasonable price, you may be able to turn a profit. Even if it doesn't have the mule specimen dime, it does have a unique toonie with a unique design, and I know people definitely want this toonie for their collections, so being able to buy one of these sets and finding this mule dime would just be a little cherry on top bonus. Now, once again, very quickly, to be able to identify the 2010 specimen mule coin, what you want to do is look at the reverse, and it will have the typical specimen finish, meaning it will be grainy and matte. Then you want to flip over to the obverse of the coin, and it will be shiny and glossy, which is typical of the business or circulation strikes. Creating the new design for His Majesty King Charles III's effigy involved a comprehensive and multi-step process. Following the announcement by the Government of Canada, over 350 artists in a database and also mint engravers received email invitations. The artists and engravers that expressed interest provided a portfolio of portrait work for evaluation. A thorough assessment was then conducted for each of the respondents. The short list of artists and engravers were given an artist brief with mandatory design requirements. Design concepts underwent evaluation by an internal mint review panel, assessing the submissions based on aesthetics, technical requirements, and their suitability for mass production. The winning design underwent scrutiny for necessary approvals from both the government and also Buckingham Palace. The mint initiated the engraving and tooling process, involving the creation of dies essential for striking the new coins. Subsequently, the production or striking of the new circulation coins commenced. So it was announced by the Canadian Mint in late 2023 that King Charles III coins would start making an appearance in circulation. So apparently there are some 2023 dated King Charles III coins, but the heir that we are discussing today is located on the 2024 King Charles III nickels. Now let's briefly discuss struck through or grease errors. Struck through grease errors happen when grease or other contaminants fill the recesses of a coin die, preventing it from fully impressing the design onto the coin. If grease accumulates in certain areas of the die, those areas may not strike the coin properly, resulting in missing details or a blurry appearance where the grease obstructs the design. The affected area on the coin will typically show missing or distorted features with a flattened or smeared appearance. Now there are several different types of struck through errors. Coins can be struck through wire, they can be struck through fabric. Coins that have struck through wire errors occur when a piece of wire or another foreign object is caught between the dies during the striking process. This foreign object interferes with the normal striking process, preventing the full impression of the design on the coin blank. The wire may also be partially embedded in the coin, leaving an impression on the struck surface. Usually these coins will exhibit a raised line or indentation corresponding to the shape of the wire or object. The affected area may have missing or distorted details depending on the severity of the interference. In both cases, these errors are considered minting anomalies, and their occurrence is typically unintentional. They add an extra level of uniqueness and desirability to the affected coins and can be of great interest to collectors. The degree of rarity and also desirability of these errors depends on several factors, such as the prominence of the struck-through feature, the coin's overall condition, and the appeal to collectors seeking these unusual or rare coins. Depending on the severity of the grease error and also if the coin has a visible date can greatly affect the value. But I know from experience that these are some of the most sought after error coins by experienced collectors. I've actually found a 2002 Canadian quarter with a pretty large grease error, and I sold it for around $100, and it was honestly one of my most profitable coin roll hunting finds to date. So these are out there, and they definitely fly under the radar of anyone who doesn't know how to identify them. In the case of this 2024 nickel, the gentleman who posted about it found this particular coin in a sealed proof set, which to me makes it even more intriguing. Whether he decides to keep it in the packaging or submit the coin to a grading company, its high grade should add another level of value to the error. Now, as is with most coins and collectibles, the value is truly in the eye of the beholder, and it is really worth whatever you can get someone to pay for it. But if I did have to give an estimate, if you were to find an error like this on a 2024 circulation nickel and it was in reasonably good condition, I don't doubt that you could get anywhere from $20 to $30 depending on how severe the grease error appears to be on the coin. In the case of the gentleman who posted about his uncirculated 2024 grease error, I would give his an even higher estimate of around $100 to $500 easily, because of the fact that it's sealed and it is the first year for a new monarch being featured on the obverse of the coins. In the year 2012, there were 3 different Toonie designs released for circulation. The first is the original Toonie design with no added security features. The second are the security $2 coins. These Toonies were meticulously crafted at the Canadian Mint's cutting-edge facility located in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Leveraging the innovative multiply-plated steel technology, these coins uphold the same manufacturing approach that has been successfully employed for Canada's lower denomination circulation coinage since the year 2001. This patented method involves the application of alternating layers of distinct metals including copper, nickel, and brass onto a durable steel core. The result is a coin that not only utilizes fewer metals than traditional alloy coins, but also stands out for its cost effectiveness and circulation coin production. Beyond the efficiency of the multiply plated steel technology, the $2 circulation coins of the Security series boast additional security features. These enhancements include new highly visible security elements designed to thwart counterfeiting attempts. The reverse side, also known as the tail side of the coin, showcases a laser mark micro engraving, contributing to the coin's advanced security measures. Furthermore, the $2 coins in the Security series go above and beyond with the incorporation of a virtual image and edge lettering on the reverse side. This innovative addition enhances both the aesthetic appeal and the security profile of these coins, making them not only a functional medium of exchange, but also a testament to the Mint's commitment to staying at the forefront of coinage technology. The third and final 2012 $2 circulation coin that was released is a commemorative with a depiction of the HMS Shannon on the reverse. This coin holds a special significance as it commemorates the historic naval achievements of the HMS Shannon. Renowned for its notable victory in the capture of the USS Chesapeake during a pivotal naval battle in June 1813, this coin pays tribute to a key moment in maritime history. The Toonie's reverse side encapsulates the essence of the HMS Shannon's remarkable feat, emphasizing its successful escort of the American War Prize into Halifax Harbor following the defeat of the USS Chesapeake. This engagement, which unfolded in June of 1813, marked a turning point in naval warfare and showcased the prowess of the HMS Shannon and her crew. Tragically, the battle resulted in the loss of 23 Shannon crewmen. The sacrifices made by these individuals are commemorated in the Royal Navy Burying Grounds and at the Old Burial Ground, both administered by St. Paul's Church in Halifax. The graves serve as poignant reminders of the human cost associated with the pursuit of victory and the defense of national interests. Notably, a tangible relic of the HMS Shannon's legacy is preserved in Halifax, the ship's bell. Displayed at the Maritime Museum of the Atlantic, the bell stands as a testament to the vessel's historical significance and the bravery of those who served aboard it. Now, even to find one of these regular HMS Shannon coins in your pocket change can be fun, as this piece serves as a numismatic tribute to the naval prowess, sacrifices, and historical impact of this distinguished vessel. Now, little known to most, there is actually a rare variety that you can look for on this HMS Shannon Toonie that can add a premium to the coin, and it is often referred to as the extra sail variety. And to identify it, you should do the following. First, you want to examine the reverse side of the 2012 Canadian HMS Shannon $2 coin. Focus on the depiction of the HMS Shannon, particularly where the ship's sails are located. Now pay close attention to the sails on the right side of the ship, particularly the most closest to the right edge of the coin. In the case of the extra sail variety, there should be one additional sail to the right side compared to the other ship masts and sails. Now, to confirm the presence of the extra sail variety, it's very helpful to compare a coin with a standard 2012 HMS Shannon Toonie. For a more detailed examination, consider using magnification such as a magnifying glass or a coin loop. This can help you scrutinize the finer details of the coin's design and confirm the presence of the additional sale. Numismatic communities and online forums often share images and information about coin varieties. You can check out some reputable sources or online forums where collectors discuss specific coin variations. If you guys are interested in joining my group on Facebook, Canadian Coin Roll Hunters, we actually have over 4,000 members now, and there are some members that post every single day. So if you think that you have found any of the coins that I discuss in any of these videos and you would like to post a picture, you will definitely get some confirmation on whether you have the rare variety or the more common. If you ever are in doubt, or if you want to ensure the accuracy of your identification, consider consulting numismatic experts or a reputable coin dealer. They may have the expertise to confirm the presence of the extra sale variety after physically inspecting the coin and possibly comparing it to high quality images. Now, the overall mintage figures for the 2012 Toonies. The $2 2012 Toonie without any security features has a mintage figure of 1,531,000. The 2012 Toonie with security features has a mintage of 82,862,000. So it would seem that the original Toonie with no security features is a lot more rare in the year 2012, but it is not much more valuable than the other 2012 Toonies. The extra sale is the only one that is worth quite a bit more above face. Now, the overall mintage for the 2012 HMS Shannon Toonie is 5 million, the extra sale variety being a very small limited number contained within that. In terms of its value, just to give you guys an idea in comparison, the regular HMS Shannon Toonie is only worth around $5 for an MS63 example. The most valuable of the 2012 Toonies at an MS63 is the 2012 without any security features, which is worth around $13. Now, if you were to find one of the HMS Shannon Toonies and you can identify the extra sale, that can actually be worth $300 for an MS63 example. So this is a coin that will carry a premium even on the low end. If it's not in great shape, it can still probably be worth anywhere from $5 to $10, and as the condition increases, as will the value. Now, if you were to find one of these and it scored an MS65, it can be worth around $400, and if you got one and it scored an MS67, you might even be talking a $700 to $1,000 Toonie, but you definitely need to identify the extra sale, or else it is not very valuable at all, not worth much above face, even in a mint state. As of recent, up to 2 billion Canadian circulation coins are struck each year at the Mint's facility in Winnipeg. While the effigy of the reigning monarch has appeared on every Canadian coin produced by the Mint since the year 1908, reverse designs have changed considerably over the years. The Mint often introduces new commemorative designs which celebrate Canada's history, culture, and values. Since the year 2000, all of Canada's circulation coins have been produced using the Mint's patented multi-ply plated steel technology, except for the $1 and $2 circulation coins, which started using this technology as of April 10, 2012. Before the start of the new millennium began and fears of computer clocks all resetting to zero and Y2K, the Canadian Mint held a contest to design 24 millennium quarters, one for each month of 1999 and 2000. The contest was announced by the Mint in April 1998, and it was open to all Canadians. The 1999 designs were intended to reflect on Canada's past, whereas the 2000 designs were meant to reflect on Canada's future. The relevant theme was listed on the 2000 coins, while the month of issue was listed on the 1999 coins. The contest received an overwhelming response, with thousands of Canadians submitting their designs. The chosen designs for each month showcased a diverse range of Canadian history and culture, making the Millennium Quarters a unique and cherished collection for coin enthusiasts. These coins and sets were produced in such massive quantities that most of the coins in the series aren't worth much above face value. But there are a few little known varieties for the 2000 Millennium Quarters that are extremely rare and valuable. The Canadian Mint patented multiply plating technology in the year 2000 as an improved cost-effective production technique. The 5, 10, 25, and 50-cent pieces of Canadian circulation coinage, all of which were previously struck from nearly pure nickel alloys, have been produced by the Mint since that year using this technique. Similar to the 5-cent coin, production of the 1-cent coin ended in the year 2012, and a copper-plated steel blank was used instead. Multiply plating for the $1 and $2 coins was introduced in the year 2012. In this particular plating method, a thin layer of nickel, a layer of copper, and then a final layer of nickel are electromagnetically applied to a steel core. The Because less copper and nickel are required in this process, the price of producing circulation coins has decreased. Because plated coins are made of a more resilient material, there are fewer damaged coins in circulation, improving their overall effectiveness. The mint can produce coins with distinctive electromagnetic signatures and the safest circulation coins on the market by varying the bust on the obverse of the coin. The first waves of Canadian plated coins with a P mint mark were given to vending machine companies to test their ability to work in their machines or to see if the coin mechanisms would have to be refitted to accommodate the change. In most cases, the machines accepted the new plated quarters without much difficulty. A limited mint set was also released in the year 1999 with coins of every denomination and also a test token, all containing the new P mint mark. In the year 2000, 2000 P nickels and pennies were released for circulation, most likely as a trial for the larger denominations, which were officially released for circulation the following year in 2001. So you may be asking, what does all of this have to do with the coins that we are discussing today? Well, the first thing that I can tell you is that any dime or quarter that you find coin roll hunting or in your pocket change with a P mint mark from the year 2000 or 1999 should definitely not be there. And if you find one of the creativity or community quarters from the 2000 Millennium series, then you have what would be classed as a holy grail coin. Whether a test, trial, pattern, or employee mistake, there are few of these quarters that have been known to have a small P mint mark on the obverse of the coin. It can almost be hard to believe that something so small could add such a significant value to a piece, but if you understood how incredibly rare these quarters are, then you might have more of an idea of where the value comes from. There are only 5 certified examples of the 2000p Community Millennium Quarter, and the Creativity 2000p has even fewer with only 2 known examples. Although these may be scarce, they are fairly modern, and it is unknown exactly how many of these Holy Grail coins made it into circulation, but it's definitely a good idea to check all of your creativity and community quarters for that P mint mark, because you never know when you might hit a gold mine. All of that being said, what do you say we discuss the potential value for these coins if you were ever to find a legitimate example? Now, the first quarter that we will cover is the 2000 Creativity with the P mint mark. Now, to identify this, you need to flip over to the obverse of the coin and look for a little P mint mark under the bust of Queen Elizabeth. If you can identify this, and it is the creativity design on the reverse of the coin, then you have one extremely rare quarter that can be worth all the way up to $10,000 for an MS65 example. Now, this is the rarer of the two. There are less known to exist, and currently MS65 is the highest known grade. If you were able to find one of these and it scored any higher, somewhere around an MS67, it could easily be worth $40,000. You usually see some massive price jumps when it comes to these extremely rare Holy Grail coins that only a few known examples exist for. And this 2000 October Creativity P mint mark quarter is definitely a good one to have on your radar. And then next up is the 2000 December, which has the community design on the reverse of the coin, and it will also have a small P mint mark on the obverse under Queen Elizabeth's bust. Now, this is actually the more common of these two quarters. There are 5 known examples. I wouldn't call that common at all, because when there are so few examples of a coin that exists, it will bring a huge premium, and this one definitely has some extreme value that comes along with it, because this one can be worth around $9,800 for an MS60, $15,000 for an MS65, and that is currently the highest known graded example. But this bad boy could easily be worth up to $50,000 for an MS67 if you were to find one and it scored that high. These are fairly modern recent quarters, and I have found many Millennium quarters that are in good condition. And if you were to find one that had the P mint mark, it would mean that it is plated, and usually those coins will hold up a lot better to circulation and wear, so hopefully it would score a high grade. So definitely keep an eye out for any quarters or dimes from the year 1999 or the year 2000 that have a P mint mark. The Canadian nickel from the year 2000 was put out for circulation, but it does have a fairly low mintage, even for Canadian standards. If this was an American coin, you can be sure that they would be pulling these things out of circulation religiously. There are very few American coins that are released that have a low mintage figure of 5 million. So the 2000p nickel is also a good one to look for, but not nearly as valuable and rare as these Holy Grail 2000p community and creativity Millennium quarters. In the annals of numismatic history, amidst the clinking of coins and the hum of minting machinery, there exists a narrative both captivating and mysterious, a tale that transcends borders and mingles the essence of two nations' coinage. Enter the Canadian 2000 Toonie struck on a United States Sacagawea dollar planchette, a numismatic anomaly that emerged from an unforeseen partnership between the Canadian Mint and the United States Mint, weaving together a saga rich in intrigue, collaboration, and fascination. The Sacagawea golden dollar, minted by the United States Mint from the years 2000 to 2008, was a groundbreaking coin, featuring an outer layer of manganese brass that gave it a distinctive golden hue. Its obverse depicted Sacagawea, the Shoshone Indian guide of a historic Lewis and Clark expedition, while the reverse showcased a soaring eagle. Sacagawea's role as a guide and the interpreter during the expedition, despite her young age and pregnancy, was crucial to its success, earning her lasting admiration. The coin's design selection process involved significant public participation, with the Dollar Coin Design Advisory Committee ultimately recommending Sacagawea's image. Sculptor Glenna Goodacre's design was unveiled at the White House in May 1999, capturing Sacagawea's likeness and commemorating her invaluable contributions to American history. This coin's release marked a significant moment in numismatic history, honoring Sacagawea's legacy and celebrating the spirit of exploration and unity. Set against the backdrop of the turn of the millennium, where the dawn of a new era beckoned, the United States Mint embarked on a monumental endeavor: the introduction of this Sacagawea dollar. As minting activity reached unprecedented heights, the Royal Canadian Mint, renowned for its precision and ingenuity, extended a helping hand to its American counterpart, forging a unique bond of collaboration in the realm of coinage, and this was not the first time that our countries collaborated or assisted each other. I have said many times that American and Canadian coins share a symbiotic relationship, and even though in most cases Canadian coins are compared and more similar to their British or Australian counterparts, it can't be denied that Canada drew heavy inspiration from the American money system. There have been other instances, like in the year 1968, where the United States Mint actually took over production of some of the Canadian dimes to help relieve some of the pressure on production when they were switching metal compositions from silver to nickel alloy that year. These dimes can be distinguished by inspecting the reading along the outside of the coin. I have actually covered the Philadelphia Mint 1968 dimes in a previous video. If you guys would like to check that out, I'll leave a link for that in the top corner. In this remarkable display of cooperation, the Canadian Mint supplied not only planchettes for the 5-cent coins in the year 2000, but also for the Sacagawea dollars, offering invaluable support to alleviate the production constraints faced by the United States Mint during this pivotal moment in numismatic history. However, amidst the flurry of minting activity, fate intervened in unexpected ways, unveiling a peculiar twist in this tale. Amidst the vast production volume exceeding 1.25 billion pieces between Philadelphia and Denver, a subtle yet significant alteration emerged. In a remarkable twist of fate, Canadian 2000 Toonie was discovered struck on a United States $1 Sacagawea planchette. This coin is a testament to the relationship of the two nations in the realm of numismatics, where borders are blurred and coins transcend their intended identities. The occurrence of the planchette mix-up during the minting process is a rare but plausible phenomenon that can take place due to various factors within the minting environment. In the case of the Canadian 2000 Toonie struck on a United States Sacagawea dollar planchette, the mix-up likely occurred due to a combination of logistical, mechanical, and also human factors. The minting process involves the handling of large quantities of planchettes, which are the blank metal discs used for coin production. These planchettes are typically sourced from suppliers and transported to the minting facility. During transit or storage, there is a possibility of planchettes intended for one coin type getting mixed up for those intended for another. Within the minting facility, the planchettes undergo a series of mechanical processes, including feeding into the coin presses and being struck with the coin dies. Despite stringent quality control measures, mechanical errors can occur, leading to planchettes intended for one denomination or design inadvertently being fed into coin presses set up for another. While minting operations are highly automated, human intervention is still required at various stages of the process. This includes loading planchettes into the hoppers, monitoring the operation of the coin presses, and conducting quality checks on finished coins. Human errors such as mislabeling or misidentifying planchette batches could contribute to planchette mix-ups during production. In some cases, minting facilities may produce coins for multiple countries or denominations simultaneously. This can lead to overlaps in production schedules and processes, increasing the likelihood of planchette mix-ups if the proper precautions are not taken to segregate and track different batches of planchettes. Now, as far as I can tell, there are only a few known examples of this coin accounted for currently, but that doesn't mean that you can't get lucky and find one of these in the wilds of circulation, especially if you coin roll hunt toonies on the regular. In the year 2010, an MS66 graded example of this coin sold for $9,000. One of the more recent noted sales of this coin, an MS64 example, sold in the year 2014 for an impressive $6,000. So even if you did find one of these and it's not in the greatest shape, it's pretty beat up, worn, and been put through the meat grinder, you're still probably going to be able to get a couple $100s for this coin. It is not too often that you stumble across planchette errors when it comes to coin roll hunting or coin collecting, and when it comes to a more modern denomination like the Canadian Toonie, you can be sure it will probably bring a premium along with the coin. The 2000 Millennium quarter sets introduced a fascinating addition to Canadian numismatics. They featured a non-legal tender token alongside the traditional coinage. This token boasts a striking design, showcasing a stylized map of Canada on the obverse side, with the reverse side proudly displaying the year 2000 amidst a field adorned with Royal Canadian Mint logos. The inclusion of this unique token adds an extra layer of significance to the commemorative sets and captivates the interests of collectors and enthusiasts alike. During the production of this token, a noteworthy anomaly emerged: the obverse die used for the token that was originally intended for the February 25-cent coin. This unforeseen occurrence led to the creation of a non-legal tender token featuring a denomination but lacking a corresponding date. This particular circumstance adds a layer of intrigue to these tokens, elevating their collectability and value among numismatists and those who seek rare and unusual pieces. For anyone wishing to identify whether their token is this rare mule, there are key indicators to look out for. The obverse of the mule token will bear the inscription 25 cents along with the effigy of Queen Elizabeth. This distinct combination sets the mule apart from the standard tokens, making it highly sought after. The discovery of these mules adds an element of excitement to the hobby and prompts enthusiasts to meticulously examine their collections in search of these elusive treasures. The allure of this mule token lies in its unique characteristics. They serve as a tangible reminder of the intricacies of coin production, showcasing the occasional deviations from the norm that can result in highly prized collectibles. For any avid collector or coin roll hunter, uncovering one of these mules would add a thrilling chapter to their numismatic journey. The value of the non-mule version of the 2000 Millennium quarter set token typically ranges from $3 to $10 when found individually outside of the complete set. However, the discovery of one of these mules, whether obtained through your pocket change coin roll hunting or included in one of these sets, could dramatically alter its worth. Due to the rarity and intrigue surrounding such anomalies in coin production, a mule coin can fetch a significantly higher premium, often reaching up to 10 times the value of the regular issue, depending on various factors such as its condition and the demand from collectors. When assessing the value of a mule coin, its condition plays a crucial role. Coins in pristine condition with minimal wear and damage tend to command much higher prices, as they are more desirable to collectors seeking quality specimens for their collections. Coins with noticeable flaws or signs of wear may fetch lower prices, although the rarity of the mule variety still contributes to its overall value. Another big factor that can influence the value of these coins is demand from collectors. Numismatists are often drawn to coins with unique characteristics or historical significance, such as mule coins, which result from production errors. The scarcity of these mule coins is what adds to their appeal, as collectors are willing to pay a premium to acquire these elusive pieces and add them to their collections. Now, the method of acquisition can also affect the perceived value of a mule coin. Coins discovered through chance encounters, such as finding them in your pocket change or while coin roll hunting, may hold sentimental value for the finder and could potentially command higher prices due to the excitement of the discovery. On the other hand, coins obtained through purchase, especially from reputable dealers or auctions, may be subject to market pricing based on factors such as its condition and also the demand. But this is a rare mule that most people do not know about, and it is sure to see an increase in value as time goes on and more people become aware of it. The value of a mule coin from the 2000 Millennium quarter set can vary greatly depending on its condition and the circumstances of its acquisition. While the non-mule version of this coin may have a modest value, the discovery of one of these mules can significantly increase its worth, with prices potentially reaching up to $100 to $500 for a high-grade specimen. Now, there is not a set price or value currently for this coin, so it is pretty much a case of it is worth whatever you can get somebody to pay for it. But if I ever found one of these in my pocket change or coin roll hunting, even if it wasn't in the greatest shape, I still wouldn't let it go for any less than $50. So once again, to be able to identify this coin, you want to look in the 2000 Millennium quarter set, and the obverse of the coin should feature the typical stylized map of Canada, while the reverse should actually have Queen Elizabeth and the denomination of 25 cents. So technically there will be two obverses on this coin. The $2 coin, commonly referred to as the Toonie, was introduced in Canada in the year 1996 to replace the $2 banknote. It features a bimetallic design with an outer ring made of multiply plated steel and an inner core composed of aluminum bronze. In the year 2010, the Canadian Mint produced two varieties for the Toonie with differing numbers of serrations along the outside rim. The more common version of this coin has 16 serrations, while the rarer of the two varieties only has 14 serrations. These serrations serve both aesthetic and functional purposes, aiding in the coin's anti-counterfeiting measures and providing a tactile texture for easy identification. The rarer variety of the 2010 Toonies only has 14 serrations along the outer rim. This difference in the serration counts sets it apart from the more common version and makes it more highly sought after by collectors. Now, to differentiate the 14 serration variety from the more common 16 serration version, you just need to inspect the outer rim of the coin. Counting the serrations along the rim can help identify which of the two 2010 Toonie varieties that you possess. Due to its rarity, the 14 serration variety of these 2010 Toonies holds greater collectible value compared to the more common 16 serration version. The discovery of such minor variations in coin designs often sparks excitement among collectors and numismatists. These unique varieties contribute to the diversity and richness of the hobby, encouraging further exploration and study of Canadian coinage. The Canadian 2010 Toonie, with its two serration varieties, is a prime example of the intricacies and nuances found within the world of numismatics. The quest to uncover and find rare varieties like the 14 serration Toonie adds a layer of depth and excitement to the pursuit of collecting Canadian coins, and also gives you another reason to coin roll hunt Toonies here in Canada. Now, in the year 2010, an intriguing Toonie was discovered in a set celebrating the Vancouver Olympic Games known as the no-waterlines variety. This unique variation is found exclusively within the 2010 Olympic coin sets, and it offers collectors a distinctive twist on the traditional design. To identify this variety, you simply need to scrutinize the background behind the polar bear featured on the coin's reverse in the center core. Unlike the regular issue, the no-waterlines variety exhibits a smoother appearance with fewer details and lines in the water, creating a visually captivating contrast. The existence of this 2010 no-waterlines variety on this Canadian Toonie may be attributed to several factors in the minting process. One plausible explanation could involve dye preparation and maintenance. Dye polishing, a routine step in the dye preparation process, involves smoothing out imperfections and irregularities on the dye's surface to ensure clear and precise strikes on the coins. During dye polishing, if the background behind the polar bear on the center core of the dye was not uniformly treated, it could result in variations in the level of detail and lines present in the design. This inconsistency could lead to the creation of the no-waterlines variety, where the background exhibits fewer details and lines compared to the standard version. Other factors such as die wear or differences in striking pressure could also contribute to these variations or the appearance of the coin's design elements. Over time, dies undergo wear and tear from the repeated striking of coins, which can affect the clarity and definition of the design. Variations in striking pressure during the minting process can also result in differences in the depth and intensity of the design elements on the coin. While the exact cause of the no-waterlines variety may not be definitively known, it is likely the result of subtle differences in the die preparation or striking process. Despite the rarity of this variety and its presence primarily in the 2010 Olympic coin sets, it serves as a fascinating example of the intricacies and nuances involved in the minting of Canadian coins. Now, what sets the no-waterlines variety apart from the other 2010 Toonies is not just its scarcity, but also its potential for increased value when combined with other rare features. For instance, if paired with the 14 serration variety, the value of this coin can escalate significantly, potentially reaching or exceeding $1,000. Now, most or all of the Toonies made for these sets were intended to come with these 16 serrations, so finding one with 14 serrations and no waterlines could make it a one-of-a-kind air coin. Now, we do have some price estimates for the no waterlines variety, which are as followed. This coin is classified as NBU, meaning it has a brilliant uncirculated finish and comes out of a set, but it would not look any different than your standard 2010 Toonie unless it has the no waterlines air. So just to give you guys an idea, if you find the regular 2010 Toonie out of this set and it doesn't have any airs and it has the 16 serrations, which is the standard, then it can be worth up to $35 for an NBU 67, which isn't quite at the tip top of the Sheldon scale, but it is a really high grade example of one of these coins. Now, if you can identify the no waterlines variety, which will mean that there will be less detail in the water ripples on the center core reverse design of the coin, then it can be worth around $200 for an NBU 67. So the price increases quite a bit from the standard issue, and if you were to find one and it scored any higher than that, you could be sure that you would see some big price jumps. You could easily be talking a $1,000 coin or more if it hits that NBU 70 mark. So let's also discuss the value for the regular circulation 2010 Toonies. If you were to find the 2010 business strike, it would be classified as an MS. The value of the 16 serration version, which is the more common issue, can be worth up to $51 for an MS 66 example, which is an exceptionally high grade for a business strike. If you were to find the rare of the two varieties, which is the 14 serration version of the 2010 Toonie, it can be worth up to $350 for an MS66 example. So it is actually quite valuable and one of the more rare of the Canadian Toonies that you can look for. And as I mentioned earlier, if you were able to find one of the 2010 Olympic sets and identify both the 14 serrations and also the no waterline variety on the 2010 Toonie out of the set, you could be talking a one-of-a-kind holy grail coin, as all the 2010 Toonies in the Olympic sets were intended to be struck with 16 serrations. So if you ever are able to find the no waterline variety, you also want to check and see if maybe, just maybe, it has the 14 serrations as well. The allure of discovering rare varieties like the 2010 no waterlines Toonie extends beyond the realm of mere coin collecting. Each new variety discovered adds a layer of depth and excitement to the hobby and prompts collectors to delve deep into their collections to see if they possess any of these unique pieces. The possibility of finding one of these rare coins in circulation or in your pocket change adds an element of fun and surprise to the pursuit and encourages enthusiasts to keep a keen eye on their pocket change for hidden treasures. In the world of coin collecting, every discovery holds the potential to unveil a hidden gem, and the no waterlines variety exemplifies this sentiment perfectly. As collectors embark on their quest to acquire these elusive coins, they contribute to the broader appreciation and understanding of Canadian numismatic history. With each new, unique variety that surfaces, it gives us another chance to own a tangible piece of Canadian numismatic history. In honor of Canada's 150th anniversary, a glow-in-the-dark coin was introduced into circulation, presenting the ethereal charm of the Northern Lights in a new, truly distinctive manner. Crafted for the special occasion of Canada's 150th birthday, the 2017 Toonie, aptly named the Dance of Spirits, pays homage to the marvels of Canadian landscapes by showcasing the breathtaking Aurora Borealis. The design on the reverse side of the Dance of the Spirits 2017 Toonie portrays adventurers gracefully paddling across a tranquil lake beneath the radiant veil of the Northern Lights. The Northern Lights are actually referred to as the Dance of the Spirits by the Cree peoples, adding cultural depth and symbolism to the coin. Another cohesive element among the different 2017 commemorative coins is the inclusion of the Canada 150th logo, characterized by a mosaic arrangement of 13 triangular shapes, each representing a different province or territory. Some of the specifications for this coin: it was crafted with a 3-ply nickel finish plated with steel for the outer ring, and a 3-ply brass finish plated with aluminum bronze for the inner core. The coin has a weight of 6.99 grams and a diameter of 28 millimeters and was released for general circulation. Marking a significant milestone in coinage history, the Canadian 2017 glow-in-the-dark Toonie stands out as the world's premier glow-in-the-dark coin to be introduced into general circulation. This wasn't the first instance of the Canadian Mint venturing into the realm of glow-in-the-dark coins. In the year 2012, Canada unveiled a quarter featuring the luminous skeleton of a dinosaur. Though this coin wasn't intended for widespread circulation, its innovation didn't go unnoticed. In fact, it garnered the prestigious Krause Publications 2014 Coin of the Year award for its trailblazing design, further solidifying Canada's reputation as a leader in numismatic innovation. Now, what do you say we get into the coin that you guys are all here to find out about, and that is the Canadian 2017 Snow on Trees variety for this glow-in-the-dark Toonie. Now, the 2017 glow-in-the-dark Snow on Trees variety presents a distinctive feature that sets it apart from its regular counterpart. To identify this unique variety, one must scrutinize the details of the tree line on the center brass core of the coin. If the tree line is outlined by a white shading or glow, then it belongs to the Snow on Trees variety. If there is no white outlining the trees, then it is the standard version without any variety. While this era or variety might not be widely recognized currently, it bears similarities to popular errors seen in coins from the United States, which have garnered considerable attention among collectors. Considering the rarity of the 2017 Toonie, which is arguably one of the most scarcest in circulation, with a minimum base value ranging from $10 to $20 when they sell online, possessing the Snow on Trees or the Snow on Mountains variety could elevate the value of a high-grade example to being one of the most coveted among Toonie collectors. Now, if we take a look at coin errors in the United States, one notable example is the extra leaf error found on the Wisconsin state quarter, which was released in the year 2004 as part of the 50 state quarters program. Now, on this subtle error, an additional leaf appears on the ear of the corn featured on the reverse side of the coin. This anomaly was the result of a die variety, likely due to misalignment during the minting process. Coin errors like the extra leaf Wisconsin quarter can significantly impact the value of a coin. Collectors often seek out such varieties due to their rarity and uniqueness. In the case of the Wisconsin quarter, coins with the extra leaf error can fetch prices well above their face value, particularly if they're in high-grade condition. Depending on factors such as the severity of the error, the coin's condition, and also demand from collectors, the value of these error coins can vary widely. These varieties are often viewed as curiosities and highly sought after by numismatists. As a result, error coins can command premiums in the numismatic market, and it makes them a valuable asset for collectors who are keen to acquire rare and unusual pieces that may appreciate in value. So even though this 2017 Toonie might not be setting the coin world on fire right now, it doesn't mean that that can't change very quickly, and this could easily become one of the most valuable Toonies that you could find or look for. If I had to give an estimate currently, if you were able to find one of these and identify the Snow on Trees variety, it would probably be worth about 5 to 10 times the value of the regular glow-in-the-dark Toonie. So the regular glow-in-the-dark being worth around $100 to $150 in a high-grade state, I don't doubt that this coin could be worth up to $1,000 if it scored in the high mint state range and somebody really wanted to add it to their collection. Now, one super crucial piece of advice that I want to share is about the value of coins. One of the questions that I get asked most often on my channel is, how much is my coin worth? Now, whether it's a rare gem, a key date, an error or variety, or even a common piece, determining a coin's true worth boils down to a simple fact. It's worth exactly what someone is willing to pay for it. Even though I might assess a coin at a certain value based on several factors such as rarity and condition, that estimate doesn't necessarily guarantee that the coin will actually sell for that price. For instance, you might find a buyer willing to pay top dollar for an MS-67 example of a coin, especially if they're a passionate collector of air coins. But in most cases, buying and selling coins often results in a loss rather than a substantial profit. Now, there are instances where seemingly ordinary coins can fetch far more than their face value. I've actually experienced this firsthand. Some individuals have disposable income and are willing to splurge on coins, while others are driven by the desire to complete their collections and are willing to pay a premium for specific pieces. Additionally, there are those who may not be well versed in coin valuation and are simply drawn to spending money on items they find intriguing. So to summarize, a coin's rarity and potential value doesn't always translate into a guaranteed sale. Sometimes seemingly insignificant coins can sometimes fetch unexpectedly high prices. While I do advocate for honesty in representing a coin's value and discourage misrepresentation for profit, I also believe that certain modern coins, such as colored Canadian quarters from certain years, hold value beyond their face value. These coins, although occasionally encountered in everyday transactions in Canada, can be highly sought after by collectors worldwide, leading to increased demand and higher prices. So all of that being said, if you did find one of these 2017 Toonies and you are able to identify the snow on trees variety, your best chance of being able to sell one of these for the highest premium is probably going to be on eBay or an online marketplace site like maybe Facebook Marketplace or Kijiji. Now, what do you guys think about the 2017 snow on trees glow in the dark Toonie? What would you do if you ever found one, or if you ever have found any of the coins that I discussed in this video? Let me know down in the comments. I would love to know. Also, I would really appreciate if you guys would smash that thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and also ring that bell notification so you can follow along with my new content as it is being released. But I think that is pretty much going to do it for this one, folks. So until the next one, everybody, peace out and have a good one, y'all.